Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what is this? Well, this was going to be a commentary track.
Yeah, so this was originally going to be a commentary, or second commentary track on Spy Kids 3D. We thought that would be a good idea because everybody has seen it, and even as a kid, you're just like, whoa, this movie is bonkers. Yeah. And then I rewatched it first, and I took some notes, and I thought, yeah, okay, you can talk about some things. And then you rewatched it, and you're like, I don't know if this would be the best, content. Mm-hmm. Kind of a look into what goes on behind the scenes of how many episodes we scrap or retool into something else. We decided to instead retool this into a nostalgia exploration, I guess you could maybe put it that way, where we've seen, as kids, at least the first 3 Spy Kids, and remember liking them broadly. It's one of those things of... There are certain moments of it I still remembered, like the thumbs in Spy Kid 1, the video game stuff in Spy Kids 3. A lot of that stuff I remember fondly, and as a kid, like, not taking it, like, too seriously, like it was masterpiece theater, but enjoying it as a kid's action movie. And it was a very eye-opening experience looking back at this through an adult lens. Yeah. Especially because there are 2 things that we looked at. We looked at the original 3 that we enjoyed as children, but then had to look at again as adults. And then the new Spy Kids made for a new generation of children, seeing those as adults, where maybe we'd be in the shoes of showing this to our children if we had any. Sure. It was a very interesting experience. I feel like we were lucky as children. Yes. I mean, it's not going to be a secret. The original Spy Kids, the first one, I mean, is obviously the best. Yes. Yeah, there's no way around it. When you're a kid, the second one is the best. Sure, I can see that. I can see that. Like, just, it has the frog robot, Yeah, that's cool. It has all the fun little things and the animals, Steve Buscemi's character. When you're a kid, you're like, oh, this is, Star Wars level, creative, awesome fun. But as an adult, I still enjoy Spy Kids too. The original Spy Kids is like actually a good movie. It has the cheap special effects of Robert Rodriguez, the guy who made all these movies, who does everything himself. On every movie he makes. Spy Kids has its faults due to the fact that it's all him, but it's a good movie with like a good script and a good cast giving good performances. It's a solid, like, kids movie that even as an adult I can watch and have watched about a year ago and still enjoyed. And I was like, wow, this isn't what a lot of our kids movies are, where you go back as an adult and go, wow, this is really not, it actually is like the stuff. It's the blueprint. It's the formula. I would agree with that. Yeah. The first one is definitely better than the second one. Yes. I've realized on a rewatch. And I think it falls off pretty hard. And the third one is like, as a kid, you're just like, whoa, it's special effects and they're fighting and they're in a video game is real. I play video games, so I'm in the video game. This is so cool. The second one is where you start to see the cracks of him phoning it in. And I was really surprised. So with a lot of these series where you have like 1 or 2 successful movies, this has at least 3 that were commercially successful. And I even believe the 4th one was commercially successful too, but to a lesser extent. Really? That is surprising, I know. Yeah. Robert Rodriguez has directed all 5 of these movies, which is insane. I was so fucking shocked when I discovered that there was a 4th and 5th. I was like, oh, who did they get to do these? And it was like written and directed by Robert Rodriguez. I said, what? So he is still very involved. This isn't a thing of like his name is on the project, but he's just an executive producer. No, he is behind the camera. He's wanting to make them. He does not have to make these. No, you shouldn't. You should have stopped at 3 because you jumped the shark. It only takes a few weeks, and he makes them in his garage. Takes a few weeks. I'm not kidding. If you know how Robert Rodriguez shoots things post 2000, he is efficient. He does everything in his, he has his own Troublemaker Studios. Right. He has his own studio on his property.
He has actors come, they stand in front of a green screen, he has them come. They stand in front of a green screen and say their lines, and they're done filming their part of the feature film in a few days.
Yes.
And they're never in the same scene with each other, and it makes for some pretty terrible movies almost all the time, but for some fucking reason, it's what he likes to do. There's a few exceptions. He did the Alita Battle Angel movie.
Yes.
And he did he direct Predators? Or did he just write it? He was involved. At least, that's a real movie.
Yeah, that is.
But there's not a lot. These are exceptions. Almost everything else is made in his garage in a weekend.
Yes.
And it looks like it.
I would agree. Another movie that looks like absolute dog shit that I loved as a kid was Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yes.
That is also Robert Rodriguez. Yes. And that is just a CGI, ridden wasteland.
Your memory of Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Spy Kids 3D is... It's true and worse than you remember.
Yes.
Which was my big revelation when I watched I had seen Spy Kids 3D when it came out, we all did, but I had never rewatched it or even scenes on YouTube. Mm-hmm. When I rewatched it, I went, wow, I remember this perfectly.
Yeah.
And at least for me watching it, there's things to say, but when I was watching it, I was like, I can't really see myself being able to do a commentary because it's mostly going to be me going, holy shit, that looks terrible. Holy shit, that looks,
Yeah.
It's surprisingly spare. There's no plot. He really phoned it in. Spy Kids 1 and 2 has its problems, but both of them have plots. And they feel like real movies.
Yeah.
Even if they are cheap, they're movies that have a beginning, middle, end, and have all the things movies need. And Spy Kids 3D is all right, what if I don't even know what to say. It's just I'm at a loss. He didn't care harder than he's not cared about anything else he's done, in my opinion. I think Spy Kids 3D is easily the worst Robert Rodriguez movie.
Oh, 3? 3's not even the worst Spy Kids movie.
Well, I didn't watch 5. I wanted to, but I didn't. So
it's 5
because 4 is better.
It's 4.
Did you watch 4?
I watched. Okay, so I watched 3, 4, and 5 in their entirety, and I watched clips of 1 and 2 because it wasn't streaming on places I had. And here's the thing: I went looking for a video or something. I found Spy Kids 1 on a Russian site. And then when I started playing it, they're just like, Junior, va bene. And I was like, is this a fucking Italian dub? It was. And I was so mad. And then I found the second one in fucking Croatian. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I had to resort to YouTube, I think it was Binge Society, just clips of Spy Kids 1 and 2, just the big moments that they clip. So I watched those. I watched a lot of scenes from those, enough that you could legally watch, because I didn't want to pay $5 to watch Spy Kids 1 or get Paramount Plus where the fuck it's on. So I have to say Spy Kids 5 is just objectively the worst one, Caleb.
I'm very excited to hear about it.
Okay.
I'm very excited. Do you have any, did you rewatch Spy Kids 1? Did you rewatch all of it or just scenes?
1 and 2 were both scenes, and I watched them on the same day back to back.
Did you have, for me, because I rewatched the movie Spy Kids 1 and 2 not that long ago, so it's still really fresh. So I just watched a couple things on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I already remember. Yeah, I don't need to. But for me, rewatching even a little bit of it, I have a lot of good memories, and it all came back. The characters, names, their dynamics. This isn't going to be the best example of it because I keep forgetting it because it's such a weird name. Danigan, is that his name? Mike Judge's character?
Yes, it's Danigan or Danigan.
Danigan?
He has a weird name that doesn't exist.
When I was trying to remember it, I'm like, yeah, I could be wrong and having child brain, but I feel like the plot of Spy Kids 2 is that the president or the president's kid is going to be kidnapped. And then Gertie Giggles, played by Haley Joel Osment's
That's right.
Trans sister, or just sister. Trans Haley Joel Osment. Emily Osment?
Emily Osment.
And the poop and all that. I remembered the whole movie. I thought that there was a lot of stuff in between. I was like, wow, this thing, I must have watched it. Countless. My parents own it on DVD, I must have watched those things more than Star Wars, and I loved Star Wars.
I would agree.
But I'm just I have unequivocal love for both movies. I think they're just fantastic. And the internet thinks so too. I was shocked how many memes there are of Steve Buscemi's scientist character. That scene where he's like, do you think God stays in heaven because he's afraid of what he created?
Yes.
There's so much dialogue in Spy Kids that is just it lives with me. And it's a really fantastic duology of kids action movies.
Yep.
And last thing, with minority representation that isn't like annoying and obnoxious in your face. It's like they're they're Latino Americans, but they're Americans, and it feels cool. It makes you want to be in a Mexican spy family.
Yeah,
or at least it made me when I was a kid.
They're all strong, Latino characters, I guess, and it's really funny to see Danny Trejo in here, and then the Machete movies, which is like apparently like an alternate universe of this, but it is the same character. And
Machete,
those
are terrible.
They look bad.
They're awful.
They look really bad. But Spy Kids, I would agree with you. 1 and 2 are pretty good children's action movies. I have really fond memories, and I do as a kid. I liked 3, but looking back, I'm like, this is a mess. I have very fond memories of the DVD. Did have a 3D mode, and it came with glasses, and you could toggle on a special version of the movie where whenever they went into the game or did something, it would say, put your glasses on, I believe in Stallone's voice.
And they did that and that happened in theaters too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a little prompt on the screen. I remember that to this day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember, I think I had like it was like an algebra book cover that was 3D that had glasses with it, and I remember watching Spy Kids 3D with those glasses going, oh my god, he's jumping out, he's in the thing.
Yeah.
And so I have a good memory about that. It is, I believe kids, it is important for them to have good movies that are child-centric, like with young actors, to show that kids can be serious and they can have fun. This is the whole point of like Toy Story with like Andy and any animated movie, Pixar, DreamWorks, when they have like a kid as the main character, it's because kids should have movies where they can self-insert or see other kids doing cool things. They shouldn't just watch adult movies. Yeah.
The Spy Kids, as silly as it sounds to say, when we talked about Waves, one of the things that I praised was that it gets teenagers right. Teenagers of that the era that it's representing, it gets it correct.
Yes.
Spy Kids gets like early aughts kid personality right.
Yes.
I watch it and I go, yeah, I relate to Junie, or I see, sometimes I personally relate, sometimes I go, that's my friend so-and-so in 2nd grade when he did that thing, you feel like you're watching kids. They act like kids, you believe the siblings. I gotta say, amazing performances from the 2 main kids. I had a huge crush on Carmen.
Oh, yeah.
But when I say, for child actors.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You believe that they are siblings. You don't even think about it. They feel like real kids who actually know and kind of hate each other in that like big sister, little brother hate way that it seems. I mean, I don't have a sister, but it seems like if the older sibling is a girl and the younger is a boy, the sister seems to feel very protective, but also just despise their little brother.
Pick on him. And this was my friend's dichotomy with his sister. And whenever I went over to her house, and she kind of looked like Carmen too, which is funny.
Whoa.
But their entire relationship, I was just like, yeah, this is basically Spy Kids.
Yeah.
I want to tell you about my favorite moment from the original Spy Kids, and I wonder if it'll sync up, because this is going to be a very vague thing that I don't think will be anybody else's, but this is like my introduction to like ASMR in movies. And it's in the first one. It's when they go to the house and they discover like all the spy stuff and they become spies. And they're looking at all the gadgets, and there's like that thing that like makes like 3D food, I believe.
In Machete's hideout.
Yes. And then they have like all the glow sticks, and they're like equipping things, and there's like little jars of candy and stuff. For me, that was the most like visually, mentally pleasing thing I had ever seen as a child. Just like going in, it's kind of like a thing of like, we're gearing up and we have all the candy we can eat and all that stuff. To me, I'm just like, I felt like I was a soldier, but like also a kid at the same time. And I felt like really cool. I'm like, I want that to exist. And this was also at the same time where in like Target and Fred Meyer, they would sell like spy gear toys where it was like glasses that basically like turned green or something. It's like, it's X-ray. Or you had like a pen that had invisible ink. And this was a rage. A lot of boys had stuff like that, girls too. So that was a moment where it was my introduction to how pleasing to the brain a movie can be, instead of just liking it as a whole, as an experience.
The texture of it.
I
relate to that hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is my favorite moment, just because it brings back so many warm memories of like, oh, I wish that I was like in the like water tunnels where they were with the glow. They're cracking the glow sticks.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, the subterfuge. I'm like in Splinter Cell.
Yeah. And how the water, it's like that scene where Samuel L. Jackson gets eaten by the shark in Deep Blue Sea or whatever the fuck that movie is.
Oh yeah.
You know? It's like that thing where like the water, like you're underwater, but the water level isn't rising because of physics. And when you're a kid, you're like, what? And you're like, I want to be in a space like that. And they have the suits, and Junie presses the wrong button and then lies because he's embarrassed because he's a fuck up. God, I love that movie. I said Machete's Lair. That I'm very wrong about that. I don't know why I even Machete's Lair is the one that sucks. It's all like ramshackle.
There's a plane.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that hideout, dude, the Ghirardelli's like chocolate looking thing that becomes a Big Mac.
Exactly.
That is one of the ultimate child fantasies.
Yes.
And I don't think this is an autistic thing. I think that a lot of kids would agree that is just like, that is when you're a child, that is, you're watching your fantasies. It's kind of crazy how good this movie is. So the two like best examples of this type of story created for this reason, I don't know how to say this in a way that makes sense. So do you know how The Princess Bride came to be?
Not exactly.
The story, the movie, is based on a book by William Goldman, who was a novelist and screenwriter. And that story that's in the book that he adapted into the movie was a story that he would tell his daughters. Like, it was a bedtime story, and he would kind of add a little on to it each time. And then eventually his daughters were like, write it down so we can read it. And that's what happened. And Spy Kids is kind of similar, where Robert Rodriguez's kids, I think he has a daughter and a son, like Carmen and Junie. And he would tell like a bedtime story that was about like the Hispanic James Bond, which was basically Antonio Banderas' character, and how he had these cool kids who were way better than their goofy father. And it's like a very heartwarming image. And then he makes this movie, and Princess Bride, it's like a perfect romantic-y 4-quadrant hit, you know? And Spy Kids it's the silly Robert Rodriguez version of that, but it really just captures everything a kid wants to see in a movie, which is so difficult for adults to ever do. I felt my grip on that kind of mindset slip when I was a teenager, where I was like, oh no, I'm forgetting what I thought as a kid, if that makes sense. As you mature, you go, oh, those things that when I was a kid never made sense to me how an adult could be entertained by, now that's entertaining to me. And I can feel that the things that really ignited my imagination as a kid, they're less exciting. And then as you lose your grip on that, me as somebody who's thinking about making movies and telling stories and stuff, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to become a fogey who doesn't understand what kids want to see.
Yeah.
No, Robert Rodriguez captured it.
He did.
He captured it.
Yeah, the first one is the most successful. Another thing that I really like about the first one, and he loses it in the second one a little bit, and by the third one it is completely gone, is set design. If you look at a lot of the sets, especially the hideout that we just talked about, but the Alan Cummings layer and all the stuff like that, has a very, and I know this was probably filmed in the 90s or at least 2000, but it does have a very like quintessentially 90s look of very warm, a lot of really good lighting in the first one. And it's kind of hard to describe, but it feels like a lot of effort went into it. Yeah. And then the effort starts to dissipate in the second one. In the first one, the technology looks very 90s. Yeah. And then the second one, it starts to get more 2000s. And then by the third one, it's basically like, this does not exist. You made just like, this is made to be in 3D. So it's just very analytical and clean. You can tell it's lazy. It's not a lack of imagination, because the other movies, you could argue, oh, he had all this imagination, he was able to pull it off, and then he ran out of ideas. Yeah. Well, if you don't have as many good ideas, but you're still trying, you'd come up with something better than fucking Spy Kids 3D. Yeah. Spy Kids 3D is obvious laziness. These movies were all made a year apart, which is mind-blowing. Yeah. The drop in quality where, like, you would think, oh, he probably made Spy Kids 2 a year or two after that, and then like 4 years later when he needed a check, he does it. No, these were all made like Lord of the Rings, like back to back. Yes. And the fall off is insane. Yes. But I agree about the environments. It's the opposite of refinement culture, where everything in Spy Kids are like, oh, this is all so cool and unique. And I mean, even the opening, do you remember the opening like shot? That might not have been in the clip that I saw, so please go ahead.
It's so cinematic. There's the story that the mother, oh fuck, I knew her name and now I'm forgetting it.
I forget the parents' names too.
Carla Gugino. Okay. She's telling the story of the spies, which is mirroring the real life thing with Robert. And she's talking about how, and then the wedding, and he showed up, and they parachute into the boat and they get away.
That's right, yes.
The camera is like, it dissolves, it's like sweeping over the ocean, and then it goes into their little villa, and it zooms through the window of Carmen looking out. And it's like, it just brings you in, and it's like, oh my God, filmmaking. And it's not, the movie's not trying to win an Academy Award, but it's just made with effort and purposefulness. Yes. And then you watch Spy Kids 3D and you go, how dare you spoil what you made?
It's just filmed in a very like clinically and like uninteresting, unappeasing way. Going back to the intro of Spy Kids 1, I do remember the wedding. I did see that clip. The thing that does take me out of that are the helicopters that are just like impossibly flying like way too close.
Yes.
And this is a problem that really just plagues it. And it's really hard to look past because I can forgive special effects looking bad. I cannot forgive poor planning of special effects. Now, when like an Apache helicopter flies like 10 feet away from the ground, but it looks like it's like 1,000 feet away and like nobody reacts to it, that is something that takes me right out and I go, the previs on this, you didn't put enough work into.
They look, for the listeners who might not be able to picture this, it looks like in Modern Warfare when you take an RPG and shoot down the helo. It looks like that, but before they polished the graphics.
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
Yeah. It looks bad for the time, and I know the budget isn't $100 million.
Yeah.
But
it's literally just him doing everything.
It is, but it just didn't look good. And if the thumbs can look a little wonky because they're thumb people.
Yeah.
But when the helicopter is like supposed to be 10 feet off the ground but flying like through pillars that are 10 feet apart, that is where my brain goes, no.
It's like, to use an analogy of Toy Story 1, which we talked about with the Tony Boom Boom sabotage. In Toy Story 1, the animation is not very good, but it's all on the same level. So you don't pick out anything looking bad.
Sure.
If there was a scene in Toy Story 3 where all of a sudden it looked like Toy Story 1, you'd go, that looks fucking,
Yeah.
The CGI, even when it's not great, like with the thumbs or anything in Floop's castle, it's all not great, but it's all kind of on the same plane of like, it's pretty good.
And it's like
pretty good.
It's like silly, or when the ground falls apart and it's like puzzle pieces or something. It's like, well, this is meant to be fantastical.
Yeah.
So I'm not. It's not like supposed to look real. I'm not supposed to think that is a real floor. There's some suspension of disbelief.
And these things are not made to be blockbusters in theaters and then put back in on the TCM 4K restoration. Like, these are made to be watched at home on your home TV in 720p on a DVD player. You know what I mean? So it's actually, like, when you watch it on DVD, it doesn't even look bad. It just looks normal because everything's vaguely blurry because it's a da-va-da.
Yeah.
It's forgivable. But there are moments where you go, but honestly, who gives a shit? In my opinion. Like, to me, that movie's like perfect. I love Spy Kids. It's great.
Okay, I have some more problems with the first one. I like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
I'd say I love it even. But on a rewatch, I have noticed a lot of problems that as a kid you forgive, and then as an adult you say, there should have been a little more craft put into this.
Tell
just
me about
in general. Well, I'll just start out of the way. Daryl Sabara, the boy who plays Junie, is a terrible child actor.
What?
He is stumbling through a lot of his lines. Let me be fair. He is meant to be like 8 years old or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Throughout the course of Spy Kids, his sister, played by Alexa Vega at the time, she is doing I think we can agree, better job than Junie at acting.
I guess.
Okay.
I think they're both good.
On a rewatch, especially in the third one, the girl playing Carmen has gotten better. She has gotten...
In the third one, there's no acting.
I mean, yeah, but she has learned how to be an actress, and she is getting better over the course of these movies, and it's not going to be like Academy Award winning. But I would say that she is getting more comfortable acting. Junie, on the other hand, is most consistently just like almost Down syndrome.
I disagree heavily. And not on 3. Spy Kids 3D is a different story, but I think that he's fine in the first 2. I think that... I mean, I didn't watch it as a kid or as an adult. I didn't watch it and think this kid is struggling to act. I think that he's portraying a kid who's like, not confident, and he's doing that fine. Well, I believe it.
Well, that is different than what I'm trying to say, because he is, in my opinion, stumbling through his lines a lot of the time, where it just feels like he wasn't prepared, or they didn't like set him up for success. And like I said, these are children, so I can give him a break. But even in like Spy Kids 3, he is not delivering his lines in a way that is audibly pleasing.
I agree.
So
I think he's awful in Spy Kids 3. I think every scene I'm like, dude.
Because it's basically like he's reading with the script in front of him, where he's just like, I didn't even get her email.
Nick, often they are. When you watch the behind the scenes of a Robert Rodriguez movie, it is an actor sitting on a apple box, a crate, and Robert in front of a green screen, and Robert is just off camera, and he's like, so your line is watch out. Then they go, watch out. And he's like, cut, print, great. Next shot, Yeah.
Carmen is putting in effort, but Junie, I felt personally, and I will give some leeway here. I only saw clips of 1 and 2, but I did watch at least 45 minutes of each movie through those clips. He is consistently just like the worst actor in every scene. And I won't be too mean because he's a child.
He probably is the worst. Just by virtue of the fact that it's, it's all adults and then him and Carmen.
It's Antonio Banderas and the mom, I forget her name, but
Carla Gugino. It's world-class actors and then these 2 first-time actors.
Yeah.
And he's the younger one. So mathematically, he's probably going to be the least talented.
Yeah.
But I disagree. I don't think he's bad in them at all.
It doesn't ruin any scene for me, but it is like glaringly obvious of like when they're just like, and your line is this like, start now. And he's like, yeah, we gotta fight him. It's like...
Are you talking about Spy Kids 3D?
No, 1.
I need to watch the scene you're referring to. I don't remember any of it being like that.
There are some scenes where he's better, but I feel like he's consistently just not good.
Would you rate Jake Lloyd's performance in Phantom Menace in a similar tier to Junie?
Are you an angel? I mean, I don't like either of their...
You said it wrong. He goes, "Are you an angel?"
Oh, so I did it better than...
You did it better than Jake Lloyd. That's one of his worst lines.
Junie is putting in more emotion in some of his lines, but I feel like he's just not delivering them well.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, if you had a tier list and you're doing child performance, and you were doing child performances, like, I'm guessing you'd put Jake Lloyd and Phantom Menace in the bottom, like, the D or F tier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Would you put Junie in one of those tiers, is what I'm saying? For child performances.
For child performances, I would put him above, what's his name, George Floyd? He's better than a Phantom Menace kid.
You an angel, mama. I can't breathe. I'm just mocking George.
There's sand in my lungs. I can't breathe. the Tusken Raiders are kneeling on his neck going, the Jawas are scrapping him for parts.
These are not the Floyds you're looking for.
The stormtroopers, yeah.
That's pretty good.
I can't use the force. Yeah,
when they're doing that test where he's like a starfighter, he's like reading, he's doing the Hollywood or whatever what's that fucking thing with the envelope up to the head?
Oh, like the Johnny Carson.
Yeah. He's doing that with the thing where they have a screen that has like a spaceship. He's a star. He's like, I can't read it.
What is George Floyd's?
His midichlorian count the yeah. Oh, his midichlorians that was overdose level.
He didn't die from the stormtrooper kneeling on his neck. It was the high midichlorians. The coroner on Coruscant said
this is why everyone hates fucking George Lucas, dude. Oh my God. That's really good.
Oh God. Okay, back to Spy Kids. So to answer your question, the guy who plays Junie is better. I would rank him in terms of child performances low B tier, high C.
Okay.
He is just... I felt like he needed more direction, and watching it as an adult who understands like acting, more than as a kid. As a kid, I didn't pay attention to this.
When you're a kid, you don't think actors are acting.
Yeah.
You think they're the real people.
I was okay with it as a kid because I was along for the ride, but now when I'm more critical, I feel like there should have been some more care and direction for him.
All right.
Like I said, I'm not going to be too mean because he's a babby. So I understood the plot when I was watching these like 3-minute clips back to back in order. I got the gist of what was happening. I really like Alan Cumming as Floop and these weird, bizarre creatures, Floop's Fooglies, as I love. So this reminds me recently, and I wonder if this was kind of inspired by it, but in Smiling Friends Season 3, there was an episode where Charlie visited the Schmalugles. And they go to the town, and he goes, "Oh, it's oogling when it's to be schmoogling." And I don't know if that type of like cadence of just like fing-fongs and bing-bongs and all that stuff, I don't think it came from Spy Kids, but that style of humor of just like, oh, it's like a silly name of that style. I really do like that. It still kind of makes me laugh and chuckle.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm Floop and I'm eating gloop.
They're singing, it's a Paul is Dead thing, like the Beatles, where you play the record backwards.
Yeah.
They're singing nonsense, but when you play it backwards, they're saying, Floop is a madman, help us, save us. You know what's crazy, by the way? My brother he never does this. He randomly called me and left a voice message one night where the voicemail just goes, "Hey, Kay, Do you remember in Spy Kids when they're like, Floop is a madman, help us, save us? Anyway, and then he mentioned his wife. He's like, she was couldn't believe. She's like, I'm crazy for remembering that. Do you remember that? End of voicemail. And I'm like, that's insane, because I was watching Spy Kids when
that is bizarre.
And I didn't tell him we didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just love the entirety of Alan Cumming and everything that he does with the Fluglies and all that stuff, because Hank Hill, what's his name? The
Mike Judge?
Mike Judge.
The guy who made Hank Hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mike Judge is just so there's the OSS, the Organization of Super Spies, I believe is what it's called.
Yes.
Which is funny because
weird coincidence.
The OSS was just a real thing.
They're also the Epstein, stomping grounds. It's the Robert Maxwell. Yeah.
Yeah. Very bizarre. I don't know why they didn't just Google it like at all and say, hey, remember it's pretty famous too.
Alex Jones will tell you why. Do you know about his history with Robert Rodriguez?
No.
I discovered Alex Jones because he had a video that went semi-viral that got recommended to me in like 2013, where he was talking about how he went to see a double feature of French Connection and The Exorcist, because they're both William Friedkin, somewhere in Austin, Texas, and that Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez were there. And then Quentin Tarantino saw Alex Jones, was like, fuck you, Alex Jones.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, and these directors, they've been washed up. Tarantino has made a good movie since Pulp Fiction. And he talked about how he had this conspiracy theory that Robert Rodriguez was being paid by Obama to make Machete and the sequel about like immigrants killing Americans or something, and to show that immigrants are nice. It didn't make any sense.
What?
And I was like, who is this guy? Little did I know.
Yeah.
A star was born.
It's also really funny to think now. It's like Robert Rodriguez was just doing this shit because he could. He does not care about what he puts out. He's Robert Rodriguez, for the record, very normal, nice, like, as far as people who make movies, directors go, and of people you'd want to hang out with, he's top 5. Yeah.
He seems like a really cool guy.
I would agree.
He just makes really bad movies most of the time.
Movies with awfully planned out CGI that he relies on way too much, where it's like, you should have made this a little bit practical.
Yeah. I would pay so much money to hang out with him, Mike Judge, and Richard Linklater in Austin and smoke a joint.
Yeah.
Because they're all like the bros, they're the movie guys who live there. He seems like a great guy. Alex Jones is an absolute asshole for having a problem with Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. He just says shit. Like, there's no way that he had seen really a Robert Rodriguez movie, probably ever.
Yeah. People who've worked with Alex, they're like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's He just goes. Yeah. Anyway, you brought up Mike Judge and OSS.
Yeah. So Mike Judge is a Fugly, and he has this as a kid, I remember this was very off-putting because they're almost like clown makeup has very exaggerated features like big cheeks or like overdrawn lips and stuff like that. The Fluglies are very it's like their face is made out of Play-Doh and it's stretched out.
Yes.
And I remember as a kid being very not scared, but I was like, oh, this is very troubling.
Did you ever watch, no, not Power Rangers, what were they called? Ultraman? Do you know what this is?
I know what Ultraman is.
Okay. Did you ever see the Ultraman movie where they look like Floop's Fluglies?
I didn't, I know.
Okay, no one ever knows what I'm talking. No one literally in the history of mankind, maybe, except like one autist out there knows what I'm talking about. But there was an Ultraman movie I saw as a kid where this little Japanese kid has these little like action figures of monsters, and that he can kind of twist them and make them look weird and whatnot, like Floop does in this movie. And I would kill, not really, I would kill an ant to be able to ask Robert Rodriguez if he was taking from that, because they're identical. And anyone out there, if you have any idea what the fuck I'm saying, you know what I mean. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, they look like Play-Doh. They have like little voodoo doll versions of them. And when Tony Shalhoub's character like fucks with it, it makes them in real life change and morph and become ugly and weird.
Yeah. Tony Shalhoub, by the way, has like a very bizarre character design where he has like heads coming out of his head.
Yes, like Voldemort.
Yes. And it's one of those things where as a kid it's off-putting. As an adult, it's cool to see Tony Shalhoub in this role. And I love Alan Cumming. I think he's a great on-screen persona.
And they're all giving it, like, they're all being real in this like phony movie.
Everybody is putting in effort to this, which is actually what helps make it land. Like we talked about in comedies, you really just have to take everything seriously and go with it. And that makes everything funnier, or you get into it at least. As a kid, I really love the thumbs. For people who haven't seen it, these are just like, not even really anthropomorphic because that doesn't technically make sense. But the head is just a thumb, and then they have like red shirts and like tight pants on, and then they walk like humans. They have arms and legs, and they are the henchmen, I believe is what I gathered from the clips and for Floop.
Their arms and legs are also thumbs.
Okay,
they're human-sized thumb creatures.
I always thought that was so funny, and even back then, I'm like, that is creative.
I was scared of them when I was a kid. I'm like, oh, because they're the big bad guys.
They walk around and they harass the Fooglies.
They do.
Yeah,
they do. They're like they're enforcers, basically, but they're big, mean things that show up that look like shit graphically. It's not Phantom Menace visual effects.
Oh, yeah.
We can give George Floyd the point on that one, his movie. But I thought those were scary, as well as the robot children. Those,
yes.
When I was a kid, that fucked me up. I was like, whoa.
I remember that vaguely. I don't think that did it for me, but like, retroactively watching it, I was looking at it watching with my kid mind of what was like troubling as a kid. And it definitely is like a creature, you know, especially in the second one with the like Jason the Argonaut skeletons.
I want to talk about the disturbing thing. Mm-hmm. The plot involving the parents being taken away and the kids having to be spies, that was very disturbing to me. Like that idea. So whenever you're cutting to the parents, watching it as an adult, it's funny. But I remember as a kid, it's like, oh no, because Antonio Banderas is playing like a very silly character, basically.
Sure.
Like he's a competent spy, basically, but he's like overconfident and he can't really, he has a lot of funny scenes, basically. He's one of the comedic relief characters. But as a kid, you're like, oh, that's real peril. Because they are a relatable, likable mom and dad couple. Mm-hmm. Again, believable.
Yeah.
They seem like a real couple. And when they're, taken prisoner early in the movie, again, me as a kid, I'm like, ah. So for me watching this movie, it's like all of my worst nightmares. It's like evil clones of me. I'm a little kid I'm relating to Junie while I'm watching it. That's why I'm like, his acting's good. Mom and dad are in trouble, big giant thumb monsters. What more do you need?
Not much, honestly.
Yeah.
Besides better acting. No, I think this is a really good children's movie.
Even Cheech Marin is good in it.
See, I saw him in the credits, but I didn't see him in a clip. Who did he play exactly?
He's Uncle Felix.
That's right. That is right. Because he shows up in 3, because everybody comes back in 3.
For some reason. There's like an Avengers Assemble moment in 3.
Yeah, where they call in literally everybody from every prior movie.
Yes, people who didn't know each other and should have no reason to all be like teaming up.
Yes,
it's really dumb and bad.
Very hilarious. One other thing I like about this movie is we both had siblings. I really like the sibling camaraderie in the first one, especially. It's in the second one as well, and to some extent in the third. I really like this, and it reminds me of in The Incredibles, which is one of my favorite animated movies, children's movies of all time, where like Violet and Dash are like together, like both their, I think like Mr. Incredible's in trouble, and then like the mom, they like parachute into like the fucking ocean or something.
Oh yeah, similar.
So that feeling of like siblings working together to fight like adults was always something that was like mentally pleasing to me as a kid.
And this is where I shave the edges of my mustache a little bit. Because kids' movies now, family movies, like the ones that we're talking about, Incredibles, Spy Kids are both examples of this. The movie, when you're a kid, it's programming you that you protect your own, that you stay with your family, that's your tribe. And if someone's fucking with your dad, you got to protect. And now all the kids' movies are like, actually found family is family. You know what I mean?
Found family.
We need movies with family.
Yeah.
Not that it's this whole like the war on Christmas, like actual tirade, but it does matter. Sure. You do need good movies that as a kid you go, oh, that taught me that, my parents are humans too, and I have to be there for them like they're there for me. We're missing that in culture now.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And I feel like my
mustache is back to normal now.
Okay. I feel like a lot of kids' movies now are more just allegorical. Yeah. Like there was that one recently, Turning Red, where she turns into a red panda, and some people are like, it's about like, her having like alter egos, or it's about like menstruation because it's red and all that stuff. It's like, I don't know enough to say about what that exactly was. But movies like Spy Kids were more just like, you were a kid, but you can do it too.
Yeah.
Not to say that they aren't making movies like that anymore, because I don't know the full state of like cinema for children.
I watched them all. I can confirm they're not doing
Okay. Thank you.
I watched Spies in Disguise.
Oh.
Not really.
that brought me back. I forgot that existed. Yeah, I would agree with you. I feel like children's movies, live action with good themes of you can do it too without it being like overly cheesy or just like, now we need to make the Latino, like movies like Coco or something, where like Pixar is like, we have to make one about like Bosnians now. And you're just like, do you really? I mean, Spy Kids was a Latino family, but it was just a family. Yes, they spoke in Spanish sometimes. And there is a line that made me chuckle at the end of the first one, the clips. So Machete is there, Danny Trejo, and he's hugging Antonio Banderas, and he starts crying, and then Antonio points at him and he goes, he's emotional. Latinos.
Yeah.
So there are those little jokes of like, that's a cool thing, but it doesn't alienate you. Not that a movie like Coco would, but that is very much just like, you're a skeleton who plays a guitar.
Now when you have these mainstream movies with these cultures, they're protective of their things. Like, that's our thing.
Yeah.
And Robert Rodriguez, to your point, he has told a story about when he was trying to get the first movie made, he wanted to make it with a bigger budget and make it, a quote unquote real movie. And when he pitched it, people would respond. They're like, well, can you make the family Americans? He's like, they are Americans.
They are.
They're just Hispanic.
Yeah.
Like, they're, it's set in, I think, Texas. It's set in Austin, I believe.
Texas, yes.
Yeah, they're living in Austin, or like a fictional city in Texas. But he's like, they're Americans. They're just Mexicans. It's just, it's just a cultural crossover.
Yeah.
But the movie, you don't watch the movie and for a second feel like there's any attitude of like, yeah, we're the thing that actually makes America, they're just citizens. They're normal.
Yeah.
They're Hispanic. They're funny.
Yeah.
They're cool. We can all get along. It's the actual like American dream to story.
Yeah, like I would agree with you. I was like the self-insert where I wanted to be Junie as a kid, where I'm like, I want to be a spy kid. I want to go on missions and I want to be a cool kid or whatever. I want to like, Carmen, she's going to be my girlfriend when I grow up or something like that.
This movie was made before you had it's like Kumail Nanjiani being like, it's just really hard to grow up and then not see any movie where there's someone who looks like you. And it's like, well, then go back to Pakistan, you fucking slave-owning.
I agree with that 100%. Co-sign, that's some real shit you just said. Yeah, a lot of these movies now, they try so hard to be like a cultural thing of just like, this is for us, and maybe, you can enter our space. It's like, no, we had movies back then that had like black actors, female led and stuff, and people watched it and it made a ton of money. This is also a thing of people are just like, well, how many female directors can you name? It's like, you and I can like rattle off female directors, but the problem is the average movie-going audience or people who say that don't know who Catherine Bigelow is.
Lena Dunham, thank you.
Yeah. Lynn Ramsey, a ton of other people who have had like mainstream...
Jane Campion.
Mainstream critical acclaim. They don't watch these movies.
No.
They don't care about this art house stuff whatsoever. And I can show you some indie shit where you're just like, oh, interesting, but nobody's going to like care about that whatsoever. But back then in the 2000s, 90s and before, it felt like movies most of the time were like everybody is welcome and maybe they're like different race, different gender, stuff like that. And now it's just like, this is the dude movie. This is the woman movie. This is the brown movie.
Yes, co-sign, just like you did with my Pakistani statement. And also, so you've seen the trailer for this Malcolm in the Middle reboot?
Yes.
When that kind of stuff was circulating, I love that show. My family watched that show all the time when I was a kid. And I've seen every episode like a million times. When they uploaded that shit to Netflix, that was what I did that summer. It was like, I'm just watching them.
Yeah.
I rewatched clips and I got so nostalgic, not only just for the show, but for the time period, that like early aughts, my childhood period. When you watch that show, like there's, like their Stevie, that family, like the black family, whatever. And there's that kind of joke where like Hal's whole friendship circle is through the father.
Yeah.
I forget his name now. I promise I'm a fan. Yeah. And how they're all black men. Mm-hmm. He's the one white guy in the poker group, whatever. But it's normal. It's just like, they're all Americans. It's like nice. And then I was just thinking, I haven't watched the new show, but I'm like, definitely this would get really irritating because you'd have some kind of Kumail type in the writer's room. And you have women in the writer's room. And you have people there who have an axe to grind. And they're not going to make a show that's just about American people existing and just having funny scenarios. It has to be making sure to let you know that it is doing a land acknowledgement and all that. It's like, get this shit out of my world.
Yes.
Thankfully, I have the aughts culture. I can rewatch Malcolm in the Middle. I can watch Spy Kids and say, there was a time before they took it from us, and who knows who they are.
It's up for debate. Co-signed again, real shit. Every single friend of mine who is non-white, who I asked, I'm just like, how many sitcoms did you watch growing up? Like, they're American, they watch the same things we did. They said that like Malcolm in the Middle, that family is like one of the best like families of all time. Like in terms of shows, they're like, those are my favorite white people in general. But they were just watching it because it was like a show. Yeah. It wasn't a thing of like, I mean, nobody cared. They were just like,
you love that family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're crazy and not real, but they're real everyone can watch that and go, my dad has done that, my mom has done that, my brother did,
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, I mean, you could self-insert to, like, at least what they had 4 children, then 5 when they had Jamie. So it's like, you could be like, I'm Dewey, and my brother's Dewey, I'm Malcolm, whatever the fuck, Reese.
We're all Malcolm in our minds.
Yes.
But everyone else in our family is going, I'm Malcolm, actually.
I'm super Malcolm. Malcolm, the tortured genius.
The Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyway, Spy Kids 2.
Spy Kids 2. Step down in some sense.
No.
I mean, I don't think that's...
It is.
It is.
It's not as good. But
Yeah.
when you're a kid, it's fucking Empire Strikes Back.
It's really funny because the first clip I saw is that they're at a theme park and they're like, hey, that's the president's daughter stuck on that ride. We need to save her. And I said, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
So, I mean, without content, these movies do kind of follow the thing of like kid brain of like, yeah, I did a really cool thing and now like I'm in the Secret Service.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that it is important for them to have fantastical premises. It's cool that they take a wild swing, even though that gives you Spy Kids 3D. But
I would argue that's not taking a swing. I would argue that's taking a dive.
that is
the producers-esque money laundering, if anything.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Okay.
For the record. Robert.
The one thing I like about 2 as well, same cast for the most part. The first one has this as well, but it has really good color palette choices. And the first one, they have like school uniforms that are like red and black pants, and they're like brunette. And then there's like lighting choices that are kind of like burgundy. And it's like, oh, this is actually like a very inspired choice.
Yes.
The second one has this too consistently throughout. And then 3 and the other one just say, by the way, fuck you.
Great costumes all around.
Yes.
And by the way, watching the kids in the first movie in their like Catholic school uniforms, I'm just like, oh my God, that takes me back. Dude, I fucking love Spy Kids. Even the Band-Aids are good color when Junie has his, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, get back to your point.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is when it starts to go from the 90s vibe to the 2000s vibe. And this was, I believe Spy Kids 2 was 2002?
Yep.
And the first one was like 01?
Yep.
There's a lot to like in this. It's still very creative. I like Steve Buscemi.
He's great.
There's a scene that made me chuckle just from like an adult perspective where they're breaking into, I believe, his lair on like the volcano or something like that.
Yeah, where they're falling forever.
And they fall in and they go, and then like they're just kind of bored in the next cut and they're like, how long have we been falling? I think 3 hours. And that gave even adult me a chuckle.
Yes.
I'm just like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. The kids have there's a lot of great one-liners in both of those movies.
Yes. And this one is, and this becomes a running joke in, I believe, the 4th and maybe 5th one. But Carmen says a line. She's like, "You're full of shit, talkie mushrooms."
That starts in the first one. When the thumbs are approaching, surrounding them, she says, "Oh shit, talkie mushrooms."
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was in the second one for sure at the end.
Yeah.
In like the weird like Tomb Raider like Mayan temple they're in.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. That's so fucking cool.
Yes, it is cool. But this is what I want to talk about with the landscapes that Robert Rodriguez has. I mean, we've talked about how the CGI is just bad.
Skeletons.
The skeletons I am okay with. I noticed some animation mistakes, which is, I mean, I can't forgive that because you need to have like an eagle eye when you put that in. But the problem that I have with this, and this was in the first one too, but it gets worse and worse. He has these extremely vacant CGI landscapes that are just like way too vast, and it makes everything feel so fake. So the Mayan temple, obviously they can't go to like a Mayan temple and do that. Obviously it's not going to be a stage, and it's cheaper to do this back in the 2000s.
Yeah.
It is just way too empty.
The cavern, it's a huge, I get what you're saying. It's an enormous, It's an impossibly huge space where to fill it, to make it look real, makes it look faker.
Yeah.
Because you go, that doesn't, my eyeball can tell this isn't real, even though technically I'm seeing the mountains of gold or whatever, you know?
Yeah, and there are some parts that are better than others, especially when they're in like the pits of gold and like Junie takes something like that. Some of that is practical, and it looks good. But when they're outside, the lighting also, like I said, I think in an earlier episode, lighting is everything.
There's a big problem in all of the Spy Kids movies, starting with 2, where photography that involves the sun just looks bad frequently. Yeah. And I think this is largely, I know this with Spy Kids 3, and I'm pretty sure this is what the problem was in 2. I don't think the exterior scenes are actual, like you can shoot an exterior scene with a green screen and the real sun is shining on the actors and you can still light it and flag it and whatnot, but you have the actual sun. I think they're using extremely bright lights to recreate the sun in a studio, and that just never looks good.
No,
we are used to seeing how things look lit by the sun. We see it every day. So when you're looking at it, you're like, well, the source, the shadow, that's a way too harsh a shadow. That's like noon sun, but the sun is over there. You know, it looks odd.
Even at the time when I was a kid, when I wasn't even very critical, when I saw stuff like that, I was like, that doesn't look great.
Yeah.
And I had this problem with Shark Boy and Lava Girl too.
Yes.
It's a Robert Rodriguez problem.
Yes.
When you had bad CGI cheap in the 2000s, it was awful. It was extremely like clear, like how much money was put into something.
Even as a kid with no standards, you're going, don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remembered less about this movie. I feel like I must have watched the first and third one more, just because. I mean, I maybe it was because we had the first and third DVD, and then the second was just like on FX or I don't know.
That's fucked up.
I don't know, dude.
Owning 3 and not 2 that's.
I remember 3 more than 2, but 2's better. I mean,
I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not
a household with Spy Kids 3D.
I was not going out. I was not going out and buying DVDs. I was like 5 years old.
You were definitely tugging on your mom's dress and you're saying, "Mommy, 3D. It had the game on the menu. It has the game on the menu. I want it.
We will get to that, and that game pissed me the fuck off. But the thing I remember the most about Spy Kids 2 is the like hybrid animals. There's like a really funny scene where it's like a flying pig with wings and then like a sheepdog. It's all puns.
A spider, something with
spider
a spider
monkey.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Those were cool, and the CGI still looks like shit. But as a kid, I'm like, they're fine. The other thing I remember is the stop motion skeletons that they sword fight at the end, and those were cool. That was another thing where I'm just like, because as a kid I had known what Jason the Argonauts was, like I had seen the skeletons and stuff, like surprisingly as a kid, and looking at that I was kind of making a cinematic parallel. I'm like, I like them. They still kind of, for 2000s, I think they look pretty okay. They're a little cheesy, and sometimes like the animation fucks up, and they're like, the choreography I think is the thing that is the killer if I had to nitpick.
Welcome to Nick's review of Robert Rodriguez's CGI.
I mean,
you're like, well, this frame, it's not quite.
If you're going to have animation, you should plot it out correctly.
But is this what anyone cares most about? Like, is this in the top 20 priorities for anyone watching Spy Kids? The visual effect, that's like the least of the things you even notice.
The visual effects is the thing I noticed the most in Spy Kids.
Well, I know you did the most. Clearly, you did the most. But you're like, you're breaking down the like hyper specific details. I don't think it really needs that much said about it. It does. Like, it's not always great. Okay. Like, who cares?
Let me clarify. It matters like not at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I feel like if you're going to put it in a movie, you have to do it right. And for the budget, it did cut some corners that I found unnecessary. This will be the last I talk about that. Before we get into 3, where we have to.
Well, you have to.
You have to.
With 3, that's all that's happening.
Yeah. I don't really have too much else to say about 2. When I saw the clips, I was like, cool. The story I don't think was as engaging.
No.
Because they're already spies.
It's messy.
Yeah.
There's too much. It has a good idea. I like the thing with the rival kids with Emily Osment and her brother.
Yeah.
And how they kind of have like flirtatious or like implied flirtatiousness between the younger ones, and overt flirtatiousness between the older ones.
Yeah.
I like that. I was like, okay, that's how kids are. It's cool. Yeah. But that doesn't really go anywhere because they're not in the same place for the whole movie. So, you know, it could have been better. It's watchable. It's great to a child brain. It's everything that you want when you're a kid. You're like, oh, I want the first movie, but more stuff.
Yeah.
This movie is that. It's the same, but more stuff and less story. But as an adult, you want more story and you don't care about the stuff. And Spy Kids 1 has that. So
yeah. I barely remember the plot from the clips. I remember that Mike Judge is like evil for some reason in this one.
Yes, he wants the third brain. That's the first one. He goes rogue. He uses his magnet soldier people.
The Magnamen, yeah.
Yeah, the Magnamen to steal the plot device. And the robot frog is there. It's weird. I can't really remember his motivation, but he wants the thing to do the bad thing, and he uses his daughter and his son to track the good kids to the island to get the thing. And then at the end, he's like, oh, sorry, I was bad. I'll be good again.
It's a more kid movie plot of just like there needs to be a bad guy and a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
It's the first one had more.
Chase him down, Emily.
Oh, by the way, when Emily Osment, because for this project I had watched 3 first, and I kind of forgot about like the little intricacies of the characters and like what made them unique. When she fucking like flies out of the room with her propeller like pigtails, I launched out of my chair. I screamed so loud because I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
You didn't remember that at all?
It was a jump scare because she's just like, hi, Judy. I'm like, what the fuck? Why she flew in with her hair?
She flies into a treehouse with her pigtail helicopter blades. Yeah.
That scared me, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So that was my first thing of like that activated my memory where I could go, oh, I'm kind of remembering what's happening here.
Kind of remembering the movie.
I'm kind of remembering.
As we said, 2 has more stuff but less plot. But what if I told you could watch a movie with less stuff, less plot, less people in it, and basically sit through, I think it's 90 minutes long, but basically like 70 minutes of the actor who plays Junie standing in front of a green screen, reading his lines off a cue card, and then not some of the worst visual effects of any movie that has played in theaters that I've seen in my entire life as a several times over viewer of I've seen so many fucking movies. Mm-hmm. This takes the cake. It's worse than you remember.
It is.
Folks, don't watch Spy Kids 3.
Actually, I disagree. You should watch Spy Kids 3 because it's so fucking stupid. In the sense of you need to get drunk to it.
No.
Yes, you should.
It's not enjoyable.
But Caleb, it's actually the best though.
It's actually not.
Because the plot makes no goddamn sense because it's what a parent thinks a video game is, where it's like Junie, by the way, is just like a consultant now.
He's a private eye.
Which is like year 10. So
he's not a spy.
He's saving up money to buy a video game that the toy maker, Sylvester Stallone, is just like, yo, beat my fucking game, solve my puzzles. And this made me cry not really cry, but this made me emotional as a kid when he goes in the line and he has his piggy bank and then he drops it and all his money flies away.
And then the line it's like a SpongeBob episode. The line is 100
lines bang bang. Yeah. That made me like go, oh, that's so unfair to Junie. Yeah, the plot of this is the most like, this is not how video games work, where they're, the OSS is like, hey, the toy maker is an evil guy, by the way. We need you back, Junie. Carmen tried to go in the game, but she's locked in the game now. This is like Sword Art Online. Nobody's going to get that reference. Where basically, once you're in the game, you are just like comatose and you can't get out. If you die in the game, you die in real life. But not really that last part. So they're just like, Junie, you're the best spy kid. You need to go in.
It's bizarre. It's not the same, but it's kind of similar to my problem with Jap Forgiven, where the character motivation at the beginning is just out of order.
Yeah.
Because he's a private eye and he's like, I don't do spy stuff anymore. And then Spy calls him and they're like, you spy? And he's like, no. Then he's like, I buy a video game made by the villain of the movie. And then when he can't get the video game, they're like, hey, what if you come in and spy for us? He's like, you know what? Actually, sure, because I can't have my game. Then he learns that his daughter, who's been, in his own words, missing for like a year or whatever, he hasn't seen or heard from her. He learns she's been in this thing, and the OSS, he's like their top guy.
Yeah.
He's the OS's top guy.
He's like basically James Bond, yeah.
He is James Bond, and Carmen is Jane Bond.
Sure.
She is in the video game coma, and they waited a year to say anything to him. And they're like, because we know you retired. And it's like, well, if you wanted him to come back, wouldn't you lead with that information of like your sister's in trouble?
Yeah.
So, and then he's like, you know what? I guess I will join the video game and come back. But it's like, you already decided to come in before you learned she was there. So he's like, I will spy again. And they're like, by the way, your sister. And he's like, I will even more spy again. And then they just put the glasses on him.
Yeah.
And send him into the game.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else happening besides that. We're making it sound more complex than it is. Yeah. There's like 3 scenes.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a private eye. I can't buy the game. I'm a fucking spy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then like, here's the 3D glasses, and then go into the worst graphics ever made.
Yes, and there's like no A-B plot of like, well, he's in the game, this is happening outside. It's just like, this is just the entire plot of the movie is the game happening.
Every now and then it cuts to the control room where Hank Hill is like, oh my god, he made it to level 3. And then, who is that? Selena Gomez? No, Selena Gomez, by the way, is in it at the beginning. Did you notice that?
Yes.
She's she's in one scene where she's like, what's your take? And he's like, I don't know. The amusement park is closed. And then she's gone. But who's the adult Selena Gomez? Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek, yeah.
I knew it was an S name. she's there and she's like, oh my God, you're going to like lose the game and then you can't come out of the game. She's terrible.
Why'd you lie to me about that game, Papi?
She's just sitting there with giant cleavage and Mike Judge is like, I can't see how he's going to make it past the race. And then it cuts back and they're like, you're on the next level.
Yes.
It's the whole movie.
You did it, by the way. The game logic isn't consistent. He only has like 10 lives or something. And then, like, he loses, like, 9 of them almost immediately.
Yeah.
And then, like, he is about to get killed. And they're like, oh, by the way, you have half a life left.
Yeah.
And then, like, he gets saved. And they're like, here's a health pack. And then it's like, okay, the rules of this game make no goddamn sense.
No.
I forget where exactly this happened, but I wrote down a line that made me chuckle so bad because out of context, it is hilarious. At one point, I believe Junie says, the only tribe worth belonging to is the one that you're born into.
Whoa.
And I said, Robert, what did you mean by that? But
well, you know how Hispanics will name their kids Jesus?
Yeah.
You know why they do that?
Why?
I'm asking yes or no. Do you know why?
No.
Actually?
Because of Jesus?
You're trying to get me to say it?
I don't know what you're getting at. What racist epithet you're about to say?
It's not a racist epithet. I won't. You know what? Google it, guys. Google why Hispanics in mass are naming their kids Jesus right now.
I don't know.
You have to.
I don't. Tell me why.
Okay, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because there's a giant growing number of babies being born with the name Muhammad. And it's a competitive thing.
Oh, really?
It's basically you're not going to outdo my God's name in my country.
Really?
Yeah.
I genuinely did not know this. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Shout out Hispanics.
I haven't researched this, but I've seen this reported enough that it was like, okay, I've seen this through enough different channels that I now believe it's true.
This is what you've seen on the political board of 4chan.
What's the politics board called?
Poll, POL.
Oh, I thought there must have been something else. You were telling me the name of a board that had like the most random ass fucking...
Oh, B. B was the random board. Unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is the worst shit.
Anyway, I could be completely wrong, but I've heard that, and I assumed that you must have heard it.
No.
You know, because a lot of the stuff that comes to me, I'm like, have you? You're like, yeah, I did. So I assumed you'd be familiar with that. But.
No, Latinos is kind of a blind spot of mine. We never really got along growing up. It was very bizarre.
They're the best.
They loved me or hated me. I don't get it. Everybody else is mostly fine. But Latinos, some of them are just like, it's all sight. And other ones are like, you're fine. I don't know why.
Sure.
I really don't know why. But I wish
I fuck with you, Latinos.
I wish there were more Spy Kids Latinos in the world because those are the cool ones. Antonio Banderas is so cool in these movies.
Oh, he's the best. Antonio Banderas is the man. He just has not a great career. Like his credits are not up to snuff with his talent.
Yeah. I saw you in Baby Girl. That movie sucked dick. I don't know why you decided to do that.
The fuck is Baby Girl?
It's that Nicole Kidman movie that came out last year. It's
what?
It is a like it's like a sex kind of like BDSM movie.
Okay.
Am I crazy? I feel like this was an actual like kind of big thing that came out.
I have no idea. Okay. I have not heard of that.
So this is like your Jesus thing. Okay.
Antonio Banderas has been in a lot of sexy thriller movies, especially with Pedro Almodovar directing. Baby Girl. Yeah, I did not hear about that.
Dog shit movie. I don't recommend.
Fuck.
Nicole Kidman gets fingered in a hotel room.
By Antonio?
No, by the guy from I don't know if you would know. Oh, it's the guy from Triangle of Sadness. The main character model.
So he really does get paid to just finger women 3 times his age on camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So anyway, Junie gets sucked into Toontown, and like I said, vacant landscapes. Game logic that really makes no sense. It is basically just like what actually is happening.
He's not even in a game.
No,
he's just walking through environments.
Yes, he's like in fucking Second Life, basically.
Yes.
And he's like, there's just like a kid who comes by, and he's like on a pogo stick, and he picks him up, and he's like, yo, you're fucking dumb. You don't know. You got to get to the next level,
You got to collect the coins.
You got to collect the coins. You got to save the princess. You got to get to the next level. And he's like, okay, that's interesting. He loses like almost all of his lives getting like fucked up by shit, and then eventually they throw him onto the moon. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
It's a lot.
That's where the game starts, and they say choose your champion, and he goes Grandpa, and then Ricardo Montalban, Khan from Star Trek, who is I like him as the grandpa in the previous movie.
He's fine.
He's like, Junie, I can walk. And he has a giant robot body, and he starts chasing fucking butterflies. Grandpa is useless in this movie.
Yes.
He is constant. Every time Junie's about to go into a level, he's just like, goodbye, Junie. and he just fucks off.
There's a time where like Grandpa tries to do something for him, or he helps him during the race, I believe. That's like the one time
he's in the race.
Yeah, and he like grabs him and like throws him, and he makes the other kid like die.
Yeah, when Junie's car explodes.
And there's like another scene where he just like fucks up, and he's like, "Junie, I failed," and it's like,
I could stay in this game forever.
Yeah, because for context, he is crippled. He's in a wheelchair, and then he's just like the toy master says like, "Oh yeah, bring one person," and he's like, "Oh, bring Grandpa so he can walk again." And it is sweet, but it's like also Grandpa immediately goes, "Oh, Junie, this is really cool. I'm gonna go fuck off and chase a butterfly."
Grandpa does nothing.
He's a huge asshole.
You can tell Ricardo Montalban is like, I'm gonna be on set for 3 days.
Yes.
This is his last credit, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. I looked at his IMDb because I was like, what else has he been in? His last like feature film credit, it might be the last thing on the IMDb, was Spy Kids 3D. So he was definitely like, fuck this shit, you know?
So this movie claimed him?
It did. You can tell that he does not give a shit about acting, you know? Because he just says his lines in a very, like, he says everything like it's the last line his character will ever say. Mm-hmm. He has this kind of like, this is my final soliloquy, even if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
When he's saying just literal gibberish. Mm-hmm. I want to also add one thing. You mentioned the toy maker and how he's Sylvester Stallone. Similar to Zoolander, I have a problem with the Razzies. This movie deserves every Razzie that exists except one, which is the one it won. Sylvester Stallone won Worst Supporting Actor at the Razzies for this movie, which for the Razzies, I understand how they did that because they often will just go, oh, you did like a weird character in a movie that wasn't good. Now you win the Sylvester Stallone is the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
He's trying. He plays like 4 characters.
And actually 5 because he plays George Clooney a bit at the end.
Well, no, he's playing himself. George Clooney is playing George Clooney. And then he takes his mask off Mission Impossible style, and Stallone is underneath.
Okay, well, I mean, when you say playing himself, he has like a literal Napoleon complex, like alter ego.
That's not playing a different character. He's just wearing a mask. George Clooney is talking, and then George Clooney pulls off his face, and it's Sylvester Stallone as the toy maker. That's just the toy maker in disguise.
So what are you talking about then? I mentioned the Napoleon part. Are you talking about that?
What are you saying?
So he has the 3 alter egos he talks to.
Yes.
That's exactly what I just said.
Toy maker and the 3 characters, that's 4 characters. Okay. The George Clooney thing is not a 5th character.
Okay, whatever. But I did say that Napoleon one. For the context, people listen back, make sure Caleb didn't edit that out.
You're editing this episode.
Okay, okay, it's in.
I didn't say you were going to cut it. You just said, what are you talking about to me after I said what happens?
So he plays 4 characters in this movie. One of them is
I think it's 5.
Napoleon, and you are an actual and you were getting raped tonight. So it's Napoleon, and then it's is it a scientist that's like a nerdy scientist?
Yeah.
And then who's the third?
Like a hippie.
That's right. Yeah, he's just like, it's got to be like free love, man. He's like a real Cheech Marin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why, and he's not in 1 or 2 at all, right?
No.
Okay, because I remember looking back on it, and I was just like, as a kid, I thought he was in all of them. Like it was just like kind of blended together. But like looking back at this, I'm just like, oh, so he's just in this, and which is fine. But I feel like there was some
fake fan.
There was some like weird like there's a men's world building in this movie series that
in the previous ones,
and kind of in this one where they just say go with it of like this is what has happened. Mm-hmm. You know, this is the laws of the land, and you're just like, oh, did something happen off screen? And a lot of the lore in this movie does happen off screen. I found, especially in 4 and 5.
This whole movie, like, there's nothing. I mean, like, if you're being generous to it, I get what you're saying. If you want to be generous, you could say, oh yeah, time has passed and all that, but it's just like shit thrown at a wall, and then in your child brain connects dots because, you know, humans are pattern recognizing machines. Mm-hmm. And when you're an adult, you sometimes go, fuck, that's not worth me trying to find the connection. You know, This is dumb. I'm not going to attempt. Whereas when you're a kid, you're not, that part doesn't enter your consciousness. So you're looking for the pattern. So you're going to draw the constellations in Spy Kids 3, even if there's nothing to be drawn. But I think that's only a holdover of your kid thinking, you know?
Perhaps. There's a very interesting cameo in this movie that I know the actor has talked about now that his career is taken off, but Glenn Powell is in this.
What?
Yeah, he is. During the robot fight, he's that's him.
That's Glenn Powell?
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, you're going to think this is crazy. I wrote down, is that the guy from Postal who played the bully in Christmas
Zach
Story?
Ward.
And they kind of have a similar look.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
That's Glenn Powell.
That is Glenn Powell.
That's crazy.
I don't know if this was his first role. He talked about it in like one of those like variety, like peel the thing off the card interviews. But yeah, that is I believe his first big role was Spy Kids 3D. And he talks fondly about the time, I guess. I mean, it must have been fun as a kid just being like jumping on a trampoline.
Working for 3 minutes.
Sure, and getting paid money.
He says 2 lines. He's like, you're in the game now. All right, see ya. And then he walks off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That robot fight, by the way, is the most like impossible fight of all time.
That is the worst.
They are standing. It's where it's like, they're what was that, like a fighting movie that came out like in 2010 that has like Hugh Jackman?
Oh, Real Steel.
Which sucked. But they're fighting in robots like that, and Junie is fighting a girl that he has a crush on, which turns out to be just like a computer program, you know.
Dun dun dun.
Real reminiscent of now, like Spike Jones, her, and AI chatbots now. They're both similarly good movies.
Actually kill yourself for comparing those two things.
No. But they fight in these robots that suck dick, and they're like punching each other, but like just not losing their lives.
It's Robot Jocks.
It is Robot Jocks.
Directed by our favorite, Edmund. Edmund Gordon.
Edmund Gordon, yes, that is him. It reminds you of reminded me of Pacific Rim, which came out like the first one was like a decade. Basically,
we've now named all of the movies.
Every movie ever has been.
We've now named all of the movies you could compare these to with giant robots or
sure,
robot boxing. There's 3, and we've now called them out. Yeah, so we're on the ball.
We really did. Junie hits her, and then she loses all her lives or most of them, and he's like, "Oh fuck."
And then he likes her, and I think the next level is where it's like, now you must fight each other. And it's like, what if we weren't playing at the same time?
Yeah. It's weird. There's like only 6 people playing the game.
Yeah. The biggest game in the world. And then when you load in the server, it's like matchmaking, finding a game 3 hours later.
This is like GTA Online, basically. But there's only 6 kids playing it.
He takes pity on the girl. And then he's like, he's new to the game. He's like, what is all this stuff? There's this floating orb that's like a, classic video game like health pack. And he goes, take this. This will give you all your lives back. And he's like, how do you know that? And then she takes it. She has all the lives. He goes to fight the guy. And then he's losing all of it. Not the guy, but a guy. And then he loses most of his lives. And the girl subs in, just immediately dies. And he's like, no! And then she says some cryptic line that implies she's a robot or a machine. Did you catch that?
Not her line.
She says something. I can't remember it now, but something where it's like, oh, I know this game like the back of my hand. And he's like, you've played it that much? It's like something very obvious, where as a kid it goes over your head, but as an adult I'm like, oh yeah, she's probably a program, isn't she?
Yeah. And this is probably the worst aged line in the entirety of the Spy Kids franchise, is when she dies, he is sadly looking at like her spirit, like getting like the scattered to the winds, and he goes, I never even got her email.
You think that's one of the worst lines?
In terms of worst aged, of like,
why is that?
No, because nobody's gonna say that anymore. You would say phone number or like something like that.
Well, no one would say that now. If you watch a movie from the 70s where someone's like, I didn't get her telephone number, it's like, now you'd say I didn't get her at, Well,
that's people still use phones to like
people still use email.
Not to communicate with women.
Well, yeah, kids don't, because they have cell phones now.
Well, yeah,
that doesn't mean it aged poorly. Like when you watch a movie where it's like, oh my God, Napster's huge. And you're like, well, that didn't age well because,
Well, no, I disagree, because people don't use emails to like keep in touch.
You can't disagree with an objective fact.
No.
People still use email.
Not in the sense of, oh, this girl is hot, I need to get her email.
Yeah, but the movie's of its time. That's not it. That's not what it means when you say something aged badly. Aging badly is where something is announcing itself as this is status quo, but it's no longer status quo. When you watch a movie that took place in a time where people did something a different way, that's not the movie telling you this is the way. It's just that's how they did it then.
Well, you just said it was status quo, but it's not status quo.
I'm saying the movie is not announcing that email is the way that kids do talk and will talk forever. It's just how it was at the time. Just like how if you watch a movie from the 70s where someone writes someone a letter, who does that now? That's not the movie aging bad, or that's not the act of writing a letter aging badly in a movie.
Okay. I think you're misinterpreting what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that is a very funny, like, in the context line of like, well, now a kid would never ask for like an email as a way to keep in touch. I mean, there are very few lines throughout the series where I'm just like, that's a relic of the past, of something, that no way nobody would say anymore. Because I feel like most of the first one and second one, a kid now could look at it and be like, oh yeah, this feels like still fresh.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
There's nothing dated where you go, oh, that was totally, like email.
Yes.
It's like, oh, back in the aughts when there was email chains.
Yeah. Or like, would you ever get those things like your friends would like send you an email? Like I wasn't kind of on the tail end of like friends just emailing you shit, but like the things of just like, I am Jessica. There are many women like me, but I died. And if you don't send this to like 8 other people,
yes,
I will die too. And it's just like, stop fucking. There is a guy I went to high school with who still does this. Okay, on Twitter, he's still doing that thing where it's just like, please like and bless up or mom will die in her sleep tonight. And it's just like, you're older than me. You cannot be doing this.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I remember my brother getting those when he must have been like 12. And even when I was in like the 2nd or 3rd grade, I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
We're deleting these, right? And he's like, yeah. So when we were children, we knew that shit was gay.
Yeah.
I need to find that guy and have a talk. Show him Spy Kids 3.
One thing that is very jarring about Spy Kids 3, and I don't remember them doing this in 1 and 2. I don't believe they do it in 4 and 5 in a way that is like, whoa. There is a very bizarre and like widespread partnership like ad for AMD. It's a lot during the race where AMD is like a computer like parts manufacturer, just like Nvidia. And they're, big in the 2000s, still are. But during the race, you just see the AMD logo just in the background. And it is the most like obvious product placement because, like I said, you have these vast empty landscapes and all you see in the background is just the advertisement, just Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And it was very like, wait, how much do you think they paid to be in this movie?
Or maybe it was a deal of like, I'm using this software or whatever. I'm using your stuff to make my movie.
Sure.
So you give me a kickback and I actually promote you.
Yeah.
I didn't know what AMD was. So that didn't stand out to me. I just assumed that was like, if I even thought about it, which I don't even know if I did, I probably assumed, oh, that's like an in-universe. That's the toy maker's company.
Okay.
Maybe it is. Like in the, what do you call it? In the lore.
In the lore of Spy Kids.
Just like how there's OSS in real life and in the movie,
In the SKCU, Spy Kids Cinematic Universe. That he owns AMD.
Maybe.
That would be a really funny twist. Can you do that legally? Can you just be like, hey, my OC, like Nick Obama owns McDonald's?
Oh yeah, he could do that.
Can you do that legally?
He's 4 people. He could do anything.
He can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants to do.
He's a CEO and all the board. Yeah. Okay. There is a game, real quick, I just learned something recently. There is a game for the PS2 called, I believe, The Getaway. And if you look back at that game, every single ad is like actual product placement. Like you have Burger King. There was an ad for Queen of the Damned, the sequel to like Interview with the Vampire. Just all this stuff that is like completely impossible to put in a game now. Burnout Paradise did this too. They had like Obama billboards. Have you seen this? Do you remember this?
No.
One of the Burnout games, I think it was Paradise. But the boards, like people could buy ad space like in real life. So you would see ads for like shit like Little Caesars or like movies coming out. And like famously Barack Obama had like bought billboards. His campaign bought them in Burnout. And all these people were like crashing through the billboards or just like doing burnouts in front of them.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's just like, this is a little... I mean, product placement has always been a thing in movies, but you notice it a lot more as an adult, and it kind of becomes grating. Not that I was offended by anything in Spy Kids 3.
I don't mind it ever, and really? I think this is just something we're taught. Not that it's the same thing, but the way that people get very internet armchair critic about like CGI, where they will where they'll talk about things in a level of detail like they know what they're talking about, but they're making the same pedestrian complaints anyone could about like the Sonic movie looks terrible, It's like you're just kind of trained to latch on to that and then like have that problem, but everybody who saw the movie had the exact same thing to say about it. Or like with COVID, when we talked about how during COVID, everyone's like, whenever you saw anybody, it's like, man, it's really weird, this lockdown. It's like, we've already had every conversation you can have, When it comes to product placement, this is just something where it's like, if you just notice a product in something, everyone is just trained to be like, that's product placement, that's terrible. And it's like, who actually gives a shit,
I don't fully agree with you. I get what you're saying. I don't mind when like a guy is just drinking out of a Coke can or something, or just having like a real product. Like, One thing that I really do like is, and this isn't really product placement, but like, do you remember in Sicario when the house blows up and they have like real CNN, Aaron Burnett? Like, it makes it just feel real. I'm fine with like little product placement stuff, but like specifically in Spy Kids, when literally the entire background is like the AMD logo like 20 times in a row, that is the stuff where as an adult, like I said, this is an egregious example because I don't really care.
Everything in this movie is an egregious example.
It is the worst case.
It's way worse than you remember. I'm not shitting you.
It is genuinely like an awful movie.
Yes.
It is a trip. If you were probably like really fucking high, you'd be like, what? Caleb, what looks better, this or Aggro Drift?
That's impossible to answer because what makes them ugly is just like so opposite end of the spectrum. I'd rather watch Spy Kids 3D than Aggro Drift, but Aggro Drift has more merit than Spy Kids 3D. It's just hard to sit through because it's so like Chinese water torture with the like, I get up, I do it, I do it, I get up. If you have, no one's going to get this, but if you watch Aggro Drift, you're going to be like, yeah, Caleb's true. I want to mention something, by the way. I noticed, you're going to be proud of me. So I started putting some details together. I started thinking some things, right? We talked about Alex Jones. We talked about Obama. Talked about Robert Rodriguez, these sinister figures, the deep state, OSS, Mike Judge. It all connects. So in the implied plot of this movie, even though none of this happens, it's all just said in a sentence near the end. The implied thing is that this game is designed to capture the attention of like all children. You know, every kid in the world's buying it, as they say. And that when you go in, you're sucked in, and the game is supposedly like so good you'd never want to leave, even though it's the worst thing ever made because Robert is stupid. So think about it, Nick. We have a prophetic story involving psychic vampires stealing the attention and energy of children and innocence through a digital realm marketed as entertainment, but is actually just full of microtransactions and ads. The toy maker is the architect of this universe. Now, toy maker. We rearrange these letters Voldemort style, Thomas Riddle, right? It is an anagram for Raketoym, Raketoym, which sounds like rape goyim.
Oh my God. That's true though.
Alex Jones is true. Okay. Anyway,
is that real? Wow.
That's all real.
I love the idea of Robert Rodriguez just like writing in the studio, writing down. He's like, yes, rape Goya. He is one.
Dude. Well, there's useful idiots, as they say.
That's true.
And Obama said, you are a stupid Mexican and you're going to be one of my useful idiots.
Oh, let me be clear, you're Mexican. And then you have to control the Goyim with Spy Kids 3.
I think Spy Kids 3 is one of the first psyops. It wasn't 9/11. It was Spy Kids 3.
So 9/11 had just happened normally, but Spy Kids 3D was...
Spy Kids 3D was the first attempt to control the masses through manipulation of real-world events. The real-world event was the rollout of 3D. Okay. We all as kids put on the glass... Hey, you ever heard of being vaxxed? We all put on the Spy Kids 3D glasses. Now we have myocarditis.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, Raketoym. Get it trending.
We got so far without talking about the Jews. And it just... and by the way, my idea...
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
So eventually they get to a point in the game where they say, hey, there's a prophecy. There's a guy called The Guy. We think you, Junie, might be the guy because you look like the silhouette. And all these boys follow him throughout the course of the movie and say, you're the guy. And he goes, I don't know if I'm the guy. And then at some point, Elijah Wood comes into the movie. He has not been in the movie whatsoever at this point. He goes, I'm the guy.
Yep.
And then he gets into a fight and they say, hey, you were cheating. You had like 99 lives. And then he fucking explodes. And then he's out of the movie.
I think you're adding stuff. I don't even think he fights. My memory is that at one point, they're at the last level. Yeah. They're like, the mission is that you open a door and walk out of the game. And he's like, I'm the guy. He walks through the door and then gets electroshocked by the ceiling and explodes. And they're like, that's crazy. And then they walk through the door. That's it.
That is the extent of his cameo,
He enters the movie and is dead in like 30 seconds.
It's very bizarre.
When I was a kid, I remember that like you see the guy, but he's like way ahead and you don't see his face. And then, oh my God, it's Lord of the Rings. No, near the end of the movie, they're like, oh, we didn't set this up. Junie, are you the guy? And he's like, what do you mean? And then someone's like, did you just say the guy? He just like dies immediately. Yeah. And then they're at the door to leave the game. And Grandpa's like, Junie, I can't go. And I was like, this is how it happened?
By the way, I want to say something. So in a world where like robots can exist in real life, they couldn't have made Grandpa like an exoskeleton or something. Because at the end of the...
In real life?
In real life. So, like, at the end of the movie, the game enters the real world. And by the way, the OSS are, like, super spies that, like, have all these amazing inventions. Mm-hmm. So, there's a plot point where you can only see the robot if you have your glasses on at the end because it's, like, game robot, and it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah.
So, everybody fights. Everybody from all the movies comes in. Tony Shalhoub comes in. One of my favorite, characters. His line is so stupid, but it makes me laugh every time. As a cowboy comes in, he goes, "Somebody ring the dinkster."
Bill Paxton.
That's Bill Paxton?
That is Bill Paxton.
Okay, that didn't clock to me for some reason, but...
It's not clocking to you, is it? But I'm standing on business.
What did he mean by that?
I don't know what he was saying.
But everybody comes in to fight the big evil robot at the end, helmed by Sylvester Stallone. But yeah, I mean, like, honestly, if, like, robots and shit like that exist, why couldn't they have given, like, Ricardo Montalban, like, a power suit? Like in the real world. Like, were they not working on that? Because he, I believe, is a spy too, right?
Yeah, he's a former super spy, and Carol Burnett or some shit is his wife.
Latina Carol Burnett, yeah.
It's Carol Burnett. And half the Mexicans in this movie are white, by the way. Junie's just a white kid. Carla Gugino, I know she has a Mexican name, but she's white, basically.
Junie is actually like a Russian Jew. I looked this up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not Latino at all.
He doesn't look or sound. Not that Carmen sounds Latino. She just sounds, she has our accent, but, she looks the West Coast thing, but she's, you can tell.
Yeah.
But, Junie got all of Carla, he got all from the mom's side, and she got it all from fucking Carol Burnett. Anyway, he has a wheelchair that can fly like R2-D2 in that scene from Revenge of the Sith where he lights the robots on fire. Yeah. The droids, sorry. Yeah. There is a moth in this room. Look at that little moth.
Holy fuck. Women are scared of moths. You know that?
Why?
I don't know.
Women, what do you know about moths that we don't?
Because it gets in they clothes and eats whole in they clothes. They dress.
Dude, who has problems with moths these days? If you have mothballs, you're sick.
Every old person I know is like, hey, by the way.
It's because they're old.
My room smells like this now.
They're like, I showed my grandkids Spy Kids 3, and now I have moths.
Moths are entering our home and they're eating it. This is like a plague. This is the plague of Egypt.
He's trying to eat my fucking blanket. Keep it up. I'll kill you.
Whoa. You said the N-word and he went to the brown square on the blanket. Do you see that? He went off the white one to go to that.
None of those are brown. That's gray.
Fuck. Bad time to learn I'm colorblind.
I'm going to be very distracted. I got to kill that thing. Anyway, they break the robot. Mm-hmm. And then Wheelchair says, I got to go confront Toy Maker.
Yeah. Because they know each other.
They know each other. Mm-hmm. And this is where you learn this. This is again, every scene, it's like he realized as he was writing it, like, oh, I have to have them say what this is going to mean. Mm-hmm. So he walks in, he's like, I am Grandpa. Toy Maker's like, and I'm the Toy Maker. Yeah. And he's like, and you hurt me, and now I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But I forgive you. And then Toy Maker's like,
I'm forgiven.
I'm John Forgiven. And then he turns off the robot.
Yeah.
And then it like falls apart like robot jocks. But they're fine.
Yeah.
There's also no gravity in this like cockpit.
Yeah.
Because the thing is fucking tipping. And they're all sitting normal.
You are right about this. I want to talk about where this physically takes place because this is another thing of just like shot all the background. This is all green screen, but it is shot right in front of like the Austin like... Is Austin the capital of Texas? Like the Capitol building?
I think, isn't like El Paso or something the capital of Texas?
I don't think it's El Paso.
Isn't it like a random ass city?
Most capitals are just like, what the fuck? Why would it be that? But there's like some big giant like government building that they're shooting in front of. This is a real building in Texas. This is when I learned it was all shot in Texas explicitly because I saw the flag in the background. I go, that's Texas.
Robert never leaves his house to make a movie.
Yeah, this is when I learned. And it's just like in a street and there's cars driving by in the background. This is just all B-roll footage that they filmed. And there's like no stakes because, by the way, in the lore of this, like there's just a robot like destroying shit. Even if you don't have the glasses on, he's like fucking shit up. And all these cars, and there's like people taking photos in the back. And it's just like, really? That was the best footage you had to use as B-roll?
I didn't notice. Did you see that with your own eyes, or were you tipped off? Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even look at that. I was just too busy focusing on the robot, I guess.
The cool robot.
It looks awful. Yeah. And also, this is something that it doesn't really matter. Do you know about the Star Wars connection to Robert Rodriguez's cinematography?
No.
When George Lucas was filming Attack of the Clones, Robert Rodriguez visited Lucasfilm, like ranch or whatever, and he looked at footage, and George Lucas was telling him about like digital cameras, HD. This is when Robert Rodriguez was like, oh, I'm going to transition to that. And I think Spy Kids 3D is the first movie he shot digitally. And you can tell, it looks like a camcorder, like when they're in the real world, when the movie starts and when the movie ends, when they're, not a green screen showing the real world, actual just a camera, physical production on a street. It looks very like low contrast. It looks like consumer grade, shitty camcorder footage, which is probably what it is to some. I mean, I'm sure it was an expensive camera, but he didn't really know what he was doing. Some might argue he's never learned what he's doing with digital cameras, because his movies don't really look good almost ever after he discovered them. I mean, maybe Sin City, but that also has the cheat code of it's all black and white and done on a green screen and visual effects, and you can hide a lot of mistakes by just making everything in shadows. But it's another thing where it's like when they're outdoors, I'm doing this. I'm not quite squinting, but I'm kind of tensing my cheek muscles, like when you're walking outside after being inside and you're getting ready to squint.
It's a good way to put it.
It's the kind of thing. It's just ugly. It's like I said, it doesn't really matter because it's barely even in the movie. But even the non-game stuff is ugly. Yes, that's my final gripe with Spy Kids 3.
Spy Kids, very ugly movie. I thought I would be more forgiving of this watching it. I'd be like, yeah, the CGI is maybe not great, but it's like a fun experience. No, compared to Spy Kids 1 and even 2, the story is just way worse and not as engaging. I take offense to like how terribly the video game is implemented into 3. Where it's just basically like, hey, it's a video game, but what does a video game entail? Them walking around like an empty town and jumping on a pogo stick. It's like, that's not really what a game is.
No.
So they didn't, it was meant to cash in on kids saying, oh, mom, it's a video game movie, but it's not really, and this is what video games are like. And it's like, I'm in the game, I'm like projecting or I'm, inserting myself into this. That's what it was meant to evoke for a kid prodding his parents to buy him a ticket.
You can tell it's the most shameless cash grab movie ever. You can tell that literally no person gave a fuck.
Yes.
Every actor is checked out. It, like the place, not that it's filmed with a real camera when it's in the CGI 3D, but like when they're in the game, like where, like your perspective is never, it's not exciting. You feel like everything's too far away and too close. The 3D gimmicks, there weren't as many of them as I remembered, of like stuff just going, whoa, someone reaches out towards the screen. It happens, but it's not a lot. That's honestly like what most people are probably going to remember as being the most annoying thing. No, it's really everything else. Like literally every aspect of how you make a movie is done exceedingly lazy in Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah.
Disrecommend.
I would agree. But I want to end on one thing that is kind of a compliment, but also not really. I think that for a 3D movie, if you watch this with the glasses on, they do give you a ton of 3D moments that make it worth the while. Because let me explain. There are a ton of moments where they just have like shit flying at the screen or just like a character like pointing up. Like, for example, when they did Friday Part 3, the Jason Voorhees movie, that was 3D, and there are a ton of scenes that are very contrived to be like, this is a 3D moment of like Jason walking with like the spear gun like pointed at the camera close, and you're like, well, that was meant to be the 3D moment. When I rewatched this, I did notice fairly consistently there were a ton of moments where like something would be in front of the camera or it'd be floating like side to side where I said, oh, okay, so that was a 3D moment there and there and there and there. I like how consistent the 3D moments were implemented. Not that it looks good, but if you were a kid watching this, and I do remember like watching it with the glasses on, being like 3D moment.
Put on your glasses. When you see the characters put on their glasses, that's your cue.
I like that they actually put a lot of 3D moments in it. I think for a kid, that would be cool.
No.
What do you mean, less?
I mean, when I was a kid watching it, I didn't like it. The glasses moments. It's gimmicky, and the whole audience went, whoa, when the goo like flies at the camera, but who cares?
I mean, if you're going to watch a movie in 3D, have a lot of 3D.
If the movie's in... what do you mean have a lot of 3D? If
that come to the screen like...
You want them to come on the screen?
Yes. That's exactly what I want.
You're a fucking groomer. You're an actual groomer.
I'm going to whip a fucking penny at your head, dude. You're pissing me off.
I'm not even trolling or rage baiting. I'm just responding.
Okay.
I don't think you need 3D.
We don't need it, no.
No. And if you're gonna do it, like, you don't need stuff going at the camera. Did you see Avatar in 3D?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I don't remember if I did or not, but like that movie, if I watched it in 3D, I mean, I don't like 3D, but I'd be like, okay, neat. The stuff in the foreground had a sharp line of delineation to the stuff in the background. But, 3D is a useless experience. So if you're going to do the gimmick, sure, have stuff being thrown out at the camera, but I don't even know if that's a compliment. That's kind of just like they did the gimmick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why I said literally at the end, I was like, this isn't a compliment, but if you're going to do it, do it.
Oh, I thought you said that was a compliment.
No, not really.
Oh,
I mean, I don't like 3D as an experience really, because I think it takes you out of like the movie, which is, I want to be like, engrossed in something. But when I'm just like, it's coming out of the screen, I'm like, well, you're literally breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, I'm watching. Yeah. If you're going to go 3D, just go balls out.
Has anyone ever made a ball? I mean, there's Piranha 3D, but I didn't see that in 3D. Mm-hmm. I don't think I can think of an example of this. Maybe it exists. Someone should make a 3D. If you're going to make a 3D movie, make something where the 3D isn't just simply that something comes out at you. Make it something where like the perspective had to be 3D. Like make a first person style. What was that movie that was based on a music video?
Hardcore Henry.
Oh, you're so good. Make a Hardcore Henry thing in 3D, and that might make people actually like get headaches and throw up. But that would be unique for 3D, because 3D is basically like we don't know what to do with it, so have someone point a knife at the camera.
Sure. So after Spy Kids 3D came out, critically bombed but was commercially successful, 10 years later, we were blessed with Spy Kids 4 All the Time in the World.
8 years later?
Okay. This is a soft reboot, I guess, like it was meant to be, actually. But then they just didn't make a sequel immediately afterwards because I think there was like some production hell.
Oh, yeah?
I recall something with like Harvey Weinstein being like, you got to do this.
Oh, you're right.
Because the first thing you see at the end of like Spy Kids 3D is a Harvey Weinstein production. And you're like, wait, what?
They are Miramax movies. When you watch all of them, they start with the Miramax. Yeah,
that is true. So in this one of the first things you see is like Jessica Alba, who is really sexy.
No.
Okay. That's just objectively wrong.
No.
But she is like...
She's busted
She's spying... In this movie?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Jessica
anyway,
Alba's
she's spying. Go ahead.
Okay, she is spying and Caleb is wrong. And she's looking at a guy called like TikTok or something like that. Played by Jeremy Piven. Mm-hmm. Now, people may know maybe one of his more famous moments. He's been in several things. He is that one gay guy in like Rush Hour 2 when he talks to Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. He's like, let's put a dead animal on you. If anyone's seen, people know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Leave that in. But he does have allegations against himself in real life.
Really?
That are very substantiated. Okay. But he still has a career somehow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jeremy Piven plays a guy named like Danger Diamo or something like that.
TikTok?
Well,
he's playing 5 characters.
He's playing 5 characters for real this time. Actually, no, he's playing infinity characters.
That's true. That's actually true.
We'll get into that. He is the head of the OSS, just like how George Clooney was, and he also plays TikTok. And you're just like, oh, so he's going to be the bad guy. Yes. Those are meant to be different characters at the same time, though. But if you know anything about like movies and like what Robert Rodriguez is going to do, you'd be like, oh, so there's going to be like a second act twist.
Identity, secret identities revealed.
Something like that. So Jessica Alba is like, I got to capture this guy. And they go, hey, wait, but did you know, Jessica Alba, that you are currently 9 months pregnant? And then the camera zooms out and she's pregnant, like, big belly.
Yeah.
That kind of got a chuckle out of me because of how stupid it was. It wasn't meant to be that kind of funny. But she is like pregnant. Her water is literally breaking as she's chasing him, which I have to say something. Ladies, write in. I'm pretty sure that you are not going to be like able to walk and move and articulate and fight people. And she's not doing extravagant stuff, but she is fist fighting people at the end. Mm-hmm. When your contractions are 3 minutes apart, I assume that you must be like almost bedridden at that point.
And building off that, there's also this machine that makes time go backwards.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible either. Women, write in.
Yeah.
Continue.
She chases him, arrests TikTok, and then her husband, Joel McHale, who is a TV personality.
The Soup is in it.
Yes, Soup.
And he has a show called The Soup Spy.
The Soup Man is in it. Soup Hunter's in it, and he has a show called Spy Hunter, and he's just like, hey guys, I'm the spy hunter. I look for spies, but he's never found one. And the show has 2 seasons, and it's like, so what is this bullshit? And it's the funny thing of just his wife is a spy, but he looks for spies. He doesn't find her. What's in front of his?
It's Mr. and Mrs. Spy.
Dude, yes, exactly. And she captures him. She retires from the agency. Jeremy Piven is like, okay, interesting. They have a new baby. Time goes on, and she's like, I'm out of the OSS. I don't want to go back. Turns out the Time Master, who is different from TikTok.
That's true. Man with a bag on his head like Shia LaBeouf.
Exactly. And guess who that ends up being? It's Jeremy Piven. But
what?
In the background of the video, the TikTok is just walking around kind of accidentally, which is hilarious because he's recording a fucking Osama bin Laden ransom video.
And you can't tell if that's a joke that they're doing it bad or Robert Rodriguez is dumb and filming it wrong.
Yes, I genuinely don't know. And so when this happens, they're just like, hey, Timekeeper has the Armageddon code, which is this weird MacGuffin that I think they talked about in 3, but I'm not sure. They talk about it in 5, funny enough. So
5 is called Armageddon.
5 is called Armageddon. This is called All the Time in the World. So in this one, Timekeeper, I guess, somehow gets the Armageddon code, and he makes time go faster. So what that means is that the clocks speed up, and then everybody says, oh, I thought I had 5 more minutes. And I was like, well, okay, hold on.
Clocks are moving at a crazy, they're spinning, they're doing car revolutions.
Yes.
When you're driving at 20 miles an hour or faster, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
Yes.
Their wheels are going around, yet the sun is setting and rising at normal times until it randomly isn't at the end of the movie.
Yes, and they say something, they say, okay, so we have a problem, guys. We're running out of time. Now, this is the most non-problem ever because everybody could just be like, well, let's all agree not to just go at supersonic speed.
Yeah.
They're under this impression that because the sun's going up and down within 10 minutes that everybody, I don't know if they think people are going to age faster or that that will cause a rotational thing. It's not clear exactly what will happen.
It's never addressed.
Yeah.
You don't know what. At the end when I discovered that wasn't an illusion, I was like, wait, that's really happening. I was like, what?
Yes.
The movie pretends that there is no the questions we're bringing up or the ones you just brought up about aging and the rotation of the earth, or other questions about whether or not, if you throw something, it's going to fly fast, whatever. Anything your brain might go to of what's affected, the movie forgets to even, it's just oh, the clock, do you see how the grandfather clock is moving fast? That's crazy.
Yes.
And then the movie forgets about that for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
While we watch the 2 worst kids ever.
They're pretty bad.
These are the most, soy... fucking Wojak, just no milk in their diet.
Yeah.
Kids. The boy is literally gay. They have the blue and the pink escape pods.
Yeah.
And he gets in the pink one and the tough girl gets in the blue one.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gay and deaf.
Yes.
And she's smart and confident and cool.
Yes.
And he's white and she's Mexican and he's gay and stupid because he's white.
What did Robert mean by that?
And Robert, by the way, went full woke at a certain point. I hate saying that, but it is true. So I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, I can definitely see where you are now, heavily leaning into identity politics and how you're making your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Soup is the white dad who's gay and dumb. And Jessica Alba is the Hispanic who's smart and cool. So I'm noticing a pattern. Anyway, the kids fucking suck and they are in most of the movie and I hated it.
They're in most.
And Jessica Alba is busted and fat.
That might be the most wrong you've ever been.
She does not look good in this movie. What are you talking about?
She still looks really good.
No, she doesn't.
Absolutely. Do
you think Kim Kardashian looks good?
When? Now?
Well,
no. What is this question?
When after, in the last 15 years where she's had surgeries, did you think at any point she looked good?
No.
Yeah, Jessica Alba looks terrible. She has total surgery face.
No.
Yeah.
No, she has had way less surgery than Kim.
Yeah, she's had less. I'm just saying she looks bad.
Okay, that
it's not a simile. I'm not saying it's the exact same. It's just it's a
Wow.
Well, actually, no, it is a simile because simile is like or as. I'm saying it's like that. I'm not saying it's the same. It's sim, not same.
This is the most bizarre take I think you've ever had that I've disagreed with you on the most. I don't care about Mark Wahlberg being a bad actor and beating up the Vietnamese. I think it is she is objectively hot in this era.
No. Do you think Cameron Diaz looks hot now? Do you think
that's different?
Do you think Angelina Jolie looked hot in 2010?
No, she had like too much lip filler in 2010 during Salt.
Yeah, that was 2010.
No. Well, this is different. Well, she doesn't look. Jessica Alba doesn't look as bad as them. Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, well, Cameron Diaz looks worse. Again, it's a sim, not same.
What is the argument here?
I'm saying that all of these women were beautiful at one point. Well, Kim, I mean, she was pretty, but all of these women, they look normal, and then they get to a point where it's like they're insecure, they have surgeries done, they look strange and terrible, and I look at them and I say, you're gay now.
I think you're gay now because she is very hot. But for the record,
you said you wanted actual male semen on the camera lens in Spy Kids 3D. Run it back. Run the tape back.
You run it back to something that doesn't exist.
It does exist. You said, I hope they come on the lens. You said that.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
If you didn't hear it, it's because Nick is a coward and he cut it out.
No. I didn't cut it out because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it totally does.
But this is like 2011 Jessica Alba too. This isn't like current day. I don't even know what she looks like now, but no, she looks completely fine in here. She doesn't have like insane like Joan Rivers like fucking like Botox face at all.
No, she doesn't have. No, well, Joan Rivers is one of the worst looking women of all time.
Yeah.
I didn't say she's that.
I'm using a simile, Caleb. It's like.
Well, no, because Joan Rivers is closer to like a Kris Jenner, who's also, F minus.
Those, yeah.
But Jessica Alba looked better when she was in the Fantastic Four movies, which were not even that long before this, because those were like early to mid aughts, and this is early 2010s. But Jessica Alba is not the hottest lady. She's normal. If you knew her in real life, how she looks in this movie, and she was the mom of your friend when you were a kid, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, my friend's mom. You'd be like, oh yeah, she's fine. Her husband did well for himself. He probably can maintain an erection with this fucking hag.
Oh my God.
That's what you'd say.
The most bizarre turn. I would have
You're trying to act straight by pretending she's beautiful. You're like, that makes me straight.
Pretending Jessica Alba is beautiful? Yeah. Only do that.
Actually, yeah. For real.
Oh my God. This is the most bizarre like disagreement we've had. I thought you would have been fully on board.
You're not even disagreeing with me.
Yes, I am.
You've been on the same page. You said she's ugly with me.
No. No.
Run it back.
No, I'm saying that I said she was really hot in this.
You said she's ugly, and I said that's a little too far. Okay. She's fine. Okay. She's aging gracefully. Okay. Let's be nice to her like Meryl Streep. And then you were like, she's never been hot. Anyway, why are you talking about it? Why are you going on about Jessica Alba?
Because she's really hot and gives me a boner. But she is, it's kind of funny that Joel McHale is her husband in this because there's no way they would ever get married in real life.
Yeah, he's way hotter.
Okay, clip that. That's staying in. That Joel McHale's.
You made, for the audience, Nick made a face like I slipped up by saying that.
Soundboard, add to the soundboard. But going back to this movie, this feels like a huge downgrade in terms of visuals. If there's any compliments that the CGI looks better than 3.
There's a lot of real photography. This goes back to Spy Kids 1, where it's like, okay, maybe we actually, if a scene is in a house, it's actually in a house. Yeah. And if a scene is on a street, maybe we actually go to a street.
Yes.
So you have that. There's less eye rape.
Yes. And even when they're in the ships, like, it doesn't look great, but when they're in the ships, I'm like, the lighting looks kind of similar to what it would be. It's not great, like sometimes. I said. It does look better.
It's sometimes.
It is a step up from the consistency.
It's better than 3 is the worst movie ever made. It's better.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yeah. It doesn't hold. I mean, it holds up worse than Spy Kids or Spy Kids 2. And it's made 10 years. This movie came out 10 years after Spy Kids, and there's nothing in this movie that looks better than Spy Kids.
Yeah.
So
the one thing that disgusts me the most about this movie is how the sets have gone from, in the first and second movie, actually being like interesting and having color palettes that are appealing to the eyes. Everything here is just shot like in just a real like middle class house or just like a break room. When they're sitting in the break room and then Jeremy Piven comes in and it just looks just like a waiting room at the Disney like channel offices.
It totally just looks like in The Ape when they're in the the vague break room with the plastic tables and the vending machine. It looks so bad. Yeah. And the scene when they're at Joel, when they go to the set of Joel or the studio, like the offices of the studio where Joel McHale shoots his like big spy show. You can tell that's just Robert Rodriguez's like office space that like 2 assistants clock into at most, where he's in the back like riffing on his guitar, scoring his 9th feature this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that we haven't talked about yet that was so grating is they have a dog that is played by Ricky Gervais.
Oh my God.
Worst part of the movie. Worse than the kids.
He will, like robot dog with Ricky's voice, and it doesn't shut up once.
Constantly quipping. The other thing about this movie, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about the dog because it literally is just like being the worst part of Ricky Gervais where he's just always on and it's not funny. One thing that's very bizarre about this movie, and this wasn't in any of the prior entries, and I don't know why it's in this one, there's a ton of like fart and poop jokes in this.
Yes.
That is very like, maybe they would have done one in Spy Kids 1. I don't remember it happening. But several times, like the dog will fart or something, or like the mom will throw like the baby's like poopy diaper at a guy and it will like splatter. Or something like that. And this happens more. If it happens once, that's just a joke. If it happens twice, I'm like, okay, is this a callback? If it happens like 10 times, it's like, is this... I don't want to say...
Is this Spy Kids 3D? Why is there poop coming
Why is 3D poop in my face? I don't understand why this was shoehorned in, because a lot of the time, they just go out of their way to make a fart joke or say something like, oh, I'm gonna like fart on you. And it's like, it's very bizarre.
You're just scraping the bottom of the barrel. The movie's made without passion.
Yeah.
Like Spy Kids 3 is made without passion, but Spy Kids 3 has attempts at funny lines. Mm-hmm. Like when the kids are like, oh, I'm not really cool. I'm not really smart or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, he's talking to Carmen. He's like, by the way, can I get your email address? It's like a running, it's not hilarious, but it's like there's an attempt. This movie doesn't have any of that going on. So it's like, well, okay, I can have poop. There's a baby. I can have poop happen. I can have TikTok pranks. No pun intended with the character name, but I can have TikTok pranks where cheese falls on Jessica Alba. It makes her look a little hotter.
Oh, it's the blue goop because the daughter loves pranks for some reason.
It's blue milk, from Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
but it has the consistency of that glue that you make at like Boy Scout camp. You know
what is that thing that Nickelodeon was it Gak? Do you remember that?
Gak?
Gak was like a thing that it was like a slime that you could buy in a container and play around with.
I don't know the name of that, but I feel like there's something in media where a pedophile says something about gack and it's like a euphemism for sperm. So it might be that it was, and some Dan Schneider Nickelodeon type worked that into like Disney shows or something, but I don't know.
Interesting.
So you gacked while you watched Spy Kids 4.
I super did not gack to this. This is...
To the Ricky dog.
To the Ricky, oh my God.
Basically, imagine Jar Jar as a dog who literally will not stop.
He literally will not stop. Anytime he's on screen, he is saying something. The fight choreography and also the logic in this movie is just bad too. I mean, what else can you say? The kids will just like win fights with adults by like running to the side and then they'll crash into each other.
Yes, this is a problem that every movie has, and other people have pointed this out. I feel like I've felt validated seeing someone talk about this somewhere. At a certain point, any movie where two people have any kind of scuffle became karate. Mm-hmm. Every movie is two people. You watch a Marvel superhero movie, you're like, oh, Thor, he has a hammer, right? Captain America. No, they're going to do karate. Mm-hmm. Everyone is doing hand to hand and doing karate chops and blocking karate and then grabbing and throwing through the thing. And everyone is like very athletic and ninja. It doesn't make any sense. This movie, I mean, they're not doing karate, but in Spy Kids, in every Spy Kids movie, well, the first two, because 3 doesn't have anything that's even related to, it shouldn't even be called Spy Kids. In the other two Spy Kids movies, when they're fighting, they use the environment. It's like Bourne, how he uses like a pen or whatever he needs. Like they're doing environmental fighting where like I grab objects or like I use some kind of gadget to my advantage. In this movie, when bad guys come to the kids, they're just like fucking hiya and then karate chop. And then the bad guy falls over. Mm-hmm. And this also happens like twice. The movie's extremely boring. Nothing happens in this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my gripe. Stop with the karate. I see through it. Get the hammer, get the gack, and use those to your advantage instead.
I see through it. There is something that I actually forgot to mention. So, like I said, this movie is meant to be a reboot, and it was supposed to, I believe, like follow the same kids and then like basically be like the original trilogy of Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Carmen and Junie come back in this. Carmen is already in OSS. Jessica Alba is her aunt. So the mom in the original movie, Jessica Alba is her sister.
Something.
According to the lore. And the kids meet Carmen and she's like, pretty successful, I believe, in the OSS. Yeah. And she's like, the Spy Kids program was shut down, but maybe you guys will be Spy Kids or something like that. There's like they go to the member berries room where they're just like, remember the suit from 3? Remember the frog? Mm. And then they say, oh, who's that guy next to you? And all this archival footage that's playing and is like obviously impossible for you to have recorded this way. And she's like, that's my brother, Junie.
Yeah.
And then she goes, but we don't talk about him. I'll never forgive him. And you're just like, what the fuck happened? Turns out what happened is like 45 minutes later in the movie, Junie comes back in. He's like, I was on the secret mission. And she's like, you didn't call me. And he goes, but I was on the secret mission.
Yeah.
And then they get together.
And now Junie's like I mean, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
So he's like an adult. He's a Chad now.
Mm-hmm. He has a cool leather jacket
and Carmen's busted. Now he is like the Chad. She's the Chud.
Once Carmen became legal, you call her busted.
That's not what I said. That's where your pedophile mind went. She looks not good. I mean, she looks like Carmen. You recognize her, but there's wrinkles. There's wrinkles.
Most Latinas hit the wall.
She hit the wall.
Yeah.
At 13 or whatever the fuck. That's probably how old she was in 3D.
Yeah.
She's like in her 20s. I mean, she's fine, honestly.
Yeah,
but when you look at her, you go, you didn't age. Like when I looked at Junie, I was like, oh, nice. Mm-hmm. You look cool. Yeah. It's kind of like seeing Josh Peck after Drake and Josh, where you go, oh, you aged right. Then you see Drake Bell, who was like he was the pretty boy of the group when they were kids. Yeah. You look at him now, you go, ooh, wrong.
Ooh, age like milk.
Look at Carmen, you go, you're milk. You're the leche, bitch.
You are leche, see? So at the end of the movie, Jeremy Piven is bad guy, and there's this convoluted thing that like his dad was a scientist, and then he got frozen in time, not his dad, but him. And then he wants to go back in time to like see his dad again, but then it turns out all the minions that like help him are just clones of himself that have tried to go back in time and failed. And
a shocking plot twist.
And in a twist where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And then eventually they say, but wait, you should have a heart. And he goes, you're right. And then he goes back in time and comes back old to present day. And he's like, I spent time with my dad or whatever the fuck.
It's Endgame.
It is Endgame. Plot is extremely nonsensical. He does a thing just like in Spy Kids 2 where he's like, I realize the error of my ways, whatever. And I think they give him like an opportunity. Like they don't arrest him 100%, but they say, we need to give you like time to like rehabilitate or whatever the fuck.
For his allegations?
For that as well, yeah.
I don't remember that.
Actually, no shit. I'm remembering the plot of 5. Because 5 is stupid. Makes no sense.
I was going to say, what I remember happening in 4 is that when he comes back as an old man, they're like, that's fucked up. And then it just slams to credits.
Yeah.
No, like, falling action.
Yeah.
No resolution scene. It's just like, we're fucking Spy Kids, isn't it? And then it's like, all right, end the movie now. Fast.
Yeah. Actually, there is one thing that is this kind of weird, like, fourth wall break where they say, Spy Kids program is back on. All these kids, you are now Spy Kids. And they show scenes of kids watching a movie in theaters. And they say, like, Spy Kids activate, join the program. And it's basically a way of saying, like, the reboot is on.
Yeah. Is this a enduring love thing where it's kind of mid-credits?
No.
Because the second I saw directed by, I hit stop. Okay, and I don't remember the movie theater thing.
Maybe this was literally the nanosecond after directed by Robert Rodriguez happened. To be. I'm not sure. So this was meant to be a reboot, but like we said, I think Weinstein got like, this was like 5 years before the whole Weinstein thing happened.
It was going to be good, but then Harvey Scissorhands cut it down.
I guess he did. So stuff behind the scenes happened. We didn't get an entry in Spy Kids for 12 years until 2023, where we got Spy Kids 5, Armageddon.
You have 5 minutes to break this down for me because I'm exhausted.
Okay. So this was a Netflix movie. I don't believe this ever got like released in theaters because it looks like shit. Same problem as last time. It all takes place in just houses that look boring and none of the cool sets or like set design or costume design is back. The dad is Zachary Levi and the mom is Gina Rodriguez, not Michelle Rodriguez.
Ooh, okay.
And she's just like, hey, they're both are like, we're spies. And then something happens where this guy, it's basically a rehash of 3, where he says, I made the cool game and I'm releasing a game. I have a game called Low Score. I'm releasing a game called High Score. And it's a boy and girl, different boy and girl from 4. And boy is really good at the game and he knows how to play the game. High Score comes out and there's like a thing that happens where like every single piece of tech has gotten malware in it so that you have to play the game to get through. So like people's like smart locks on their doors just have like a video game on them. And I don't know why he does this. It's just evil for no reason. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I'm explaining the real plot and it makes no sense.
I don't get it.
So evil guy is like, hey, enter my realm. And they say, okay. So the kids decide, or they somehow get into the game with him. And it's basically the plot of 3 of just like, I know how to play the game and you don't. He's like, but actually I do though. This has some of the worst, like, CGI logic. This thing made me point like Julian at the screen. So I need to describe this real quick. So Zachary Levi, I'll just say the parents, are in the realm with the kids. And they're like fighting in like Mustafar. They're like fighting over lava with like a stone bridge. Mm-hmm. And this will be hard to explain. But the bridge is this vertical on the screen, and they get knocked back onto the bridge, you know?
Okay.
It's hard to explain this, but they're on the bridge, and if they went left or right, they would fall off. They would have to go forward or back.
Okay. No railings, just like Star Wars.
Exactly.
Lucasfilm Ranch. Okay.
Exactly.
Skywalker Ranch.
So something happens where they're just like, oh, the bad guy's right there. All right, let's go and fight him. And they run right to the screen. This is an animation error that nobody caught somehow, and it doesn't matter. But they literally ran off into the lava, but like Robert just didn't catch it because they filmed it incorrectly.
So you're saying it looks like they're walking on water like Jesus?
Yes.
Okay, so sacrilegious too.
Literally, Robert, what are you doing with this? But they made an animation mistake, and this is where I said, okay, this has to be a joke. He has to be phoning it in. This has to just be money, and this is a ghost direction. This is an Alan Smithy, like Robert wrote.
Like Eyes Wide Shut, kind of, where the dailies are designed to make you think it's something else, but really Kubrick is cooking up a different...
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So, end of the movie, they have like a sword fight with a guy. There's an evil demon called the Heck Knight, and they do...
What?
Yes.
Like a demon in the game?
Yes.
Okay.
A game demon called Heck Knight, and then the knight's about to die, but then the girl says, give me your hand, I'll save you. And then she does, and the Heck Knight says, oh, I owe you my life. And then he defeats the guy for them for some reason. And then at the end, they're just like, hey, we beat your game and you're fucked up. You can't use the Armageddon code because the Armageddon code is like a code that can break into anything. It's like that Israeli like Pegasus thing where basically they can hack into any phone. It's like that, but it can hack into literally anything. He somehow has the code. It's so convoluted. And then at the end, they realize that he has like a heart of gold, and they say, instead of putting you in jail, we're going to make it so that like you can work on like making the good code that like feeds the homeless or whatever the fuck.
Instead of going to jail, you're going to go to Tel Aviv and work on Pegasus.
Yeah. And
no extradition.
So they do that, and he says, okay, kids, that's really cool. And then the movie ends.
Wait, so the bad guy made a game, or is Zachary Levi make the game?
Bad guy made the game, and he said, this is my game, enter my realm, fight my game.
Wow.
And so in the beginning, Zachary Levi stole a code with his wife, and it was the Armageddon code, but he didn't code it correctly. But then the son like finished the code, which by the way makes the son like the smartest like NASA or not
the spy kid,
yes.
Zach's kid.
Yes.
Okay.
He is somehow the best hacker in the world because he can hack his like Nintendo Switch or something.
So this is like Black Panther.
Yes.
Where the colonizer is like, whoa, you guys are more advanced than anyone else on Earth. She's like, that's right.
Yes.
We just hide it really well.
Exactly. The logic at this point has gone completely out the window. Like, at least before, it was kind of just like, the MacGuffin is this. This is just like, code evil. The code's evil. All right, get it. And it's like, what? Hold on. That's not how you set something up. This is the laziest entry by far.
Really?
And I'm so glad that we just like shot through this because, I mean, honestly, I'm not really skipping over any of the beats. The kids suck in this one, too. The cinematography is like flat and ugly compared to 4.
Robert, stop shooting your own movies. You're not good at it. You're not good at it. You don't know how to expose a frame of digital film. You heard me right. I know they're not literally exposed because it's a censor, but you're bad at it. Your cinematography when you shot your own films on film was fine. Desperado looks fine. But everything else after that looks like absolute ass. Stop shooting your own movies. You're not Steven Soderbergh. You can't do what he does. Oh, and Steven Soderbergh forgot how to shoot movies too. His stuff is getting worse and worse. Anyway, Spy Kids 5. Why is it called Armageddon when the last movie had a code called Armageddon that was about time, but this one's about Pegasus?
Because this one's...
Explain that, Robert.
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
Because
You're going to The Hague, buddy.
Because this one is more about Armageddon than the last one.
Yeah.
That's like if Empire Strikes Back was called A More New Hope.
Yeah, it's like extremely confusing.
Yeah.
But then they weren't related.
Yeah.
Like what's a series that has an unrelated sequel? Where it's just like, like RoboCop 3, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like if RoboCop 3 had like the villain from the first, who dies at the end, first movie villain name in the title, but that was just a different character who wasn't related. You're like, why'd you do that? Armageddon Time.
Armageddon Time.
Same year. They came up the movie Armageddon Time. It came out the same year as Spy Kids Armageddon.
What? There's a movie called Armageddon Time?
Yeah.
Who made it?
Nicole Kidman and the kid from Mysterious Skin. Or what was it? Antonio Banderas and Triangle of Sadness kid were in Baby Girl.
Oh, yes?
Armageddon Time is about Anne Hathaway and Jeremy Strong, and they're Jews in New York. And Anthony Hopkins is old Jewish grandpa. And there's a little kid, and he's like, it's fucking Armageddon Time. It takes place in the 80s. Jessica Chastain has a cameo as Nancy Reagan, but she does not give Roadhead, as you might expect. And it's by the guy who did The Lost City of Zed.
I know what that is, yeah.
James Gray.
My mouth is agape. What the
Ad
fuck?
Astra. Two Lovers.
These
are films he's made.
I feel like I just caught a bug.
For the listeners, Nick is staring at the ceiling, questioning his entire life right now.
I feel so bad now. So, to sum it up, Spy Kids is purely nostalgia goggles. The only movies that really hold up at all that are worth showing your children in the future are 1 and 2.
Yes.
3 is complete dog shit and is worse than you remember. 4 and 5, kids would not find enjoyable because it's just way too corny.
Lie to your kids. Tell them there are no sequels.
Yeah.
When they finish 2 and they go, what's next? You say that all of them died and they couldn't make another one.
Exactly. Say that Robert Rodriguez died in a plane crash and that he can never make a new one again. And he also signed into his will that nobody can ever make one. And if you see it, it's a bad dream. And wake up!
You're lying to your kids, but you make it instead of just saying they didn't make a third one, you just start making elaborate stories of the final destination scenarios that all of the cast and crew went through.
Junie and Carmen died in real life, so they can't
ICE took them. ICE took the parents. Spy Kids 6, here's the pitch. ICE kidnaps Antonio Banderas, and he's like, but I'm an American citizen. They say, shut up. You're going to Argentina. they put him in a crate, and then adult Junie and Carmen have to do a social media campaign to get him extradited back to the United States. Yes?
Yeah.
And Trump is like, I'm no. Mm-hmm. And then Junie, because of his nationality, is able to get an in with Mark Levin.
Oh.
And he says, you're going to do right by my people. Then Carmen's like, what's this my people shit? I thought we Hispanics. And now it's brother versus sister. And we call it Spy Kids 6, Rape Goyim.
We do call it that. Yeah, that's a completely marketable title, yeah.
It's timely. No one could say it's not timely. Thank you, Hollywood. I'll take my check. Thank you, Austin, Texas, the Hollywood of Texas.
Give us a film credit, Austin. Yeah.
Yeah. Make the movie. And bring Mike Judge back. He's still alive, right?
Yeah.
He's voicing Hank right now, isn't he?
Oh, in the awful new season.
Damn it, Robert. You ruined the franchise. Here's how you know that the 4th and 5th one are bad. Mike Judge didn't come back.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? They recast Clooney's character in 5 as well.
What? Clooney wasn't willing to sit in his living room and film himself for 5 minutes?
Shocking. I know.
Did you know that, by the way?
Is that in 3?
Clooney is in the first 3 movies, which is great. And all of his scenes are filmed in his actual living room. You know, just
really?
Have a friend with a camera or something. They're just filmed in his living room. He is wearing the top half of his costume only. Apparently in all of his scenes, he's just wearing like shorts and sneakers off camera. And he just did like one take, delivered his lines. He's George Clooney. Yeah. You know, it's not like he needed a sec. He did it. That's it. So he worked for like 5 minutes on each movie and he got paid probably a decent amount on the back end. Wow. Baller.
Thank you, George Clooney, for scamming Robert Rodriguez. That's where all the budget went to, actually.
Actually, he owes him his whole career. Robert Rodriguez is the reason Clooney's a movie star. From Dusk Till Dawn was his first like starring role in a movie. Okay. Because he was big on ER, he was popular. Yeah. But he was in some movies that didn't quite. And Robert Rodriguez From Dusk Till Dawn, he's like, every time I shot George with a gun, he's like, every time I framed up a shot of him, he's like, I'm going to make him look as cool as possible. I need to make this man a movie star. And that whole movie, if you watch it knowing that, he is RF arming in the entire thing. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. That was before Batman. That movie got him Batman, which almost killed his career because of how bad it is.
So maybe he needs Robert. Not anymore.
No. No. It would be cool. Have you ever seen the El Mariachi trilogy?
No, not all of them.
No. Or the Guitar Player trilogy, whatever it's called. Yeah. If Robert Rodriguez went back to making a movie with no CGI, I know that the other ones have it, but El Mariachi doesn't. If he went back to making something like that, some kind of like basic crime story thing that's done without digital shit and filmed on film, And he can still do everything himself. But if he did that and it starred current day George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino, not his brothers, but it just had them in it, I'd watch the shit out of that. That'd be the best thing he's done. I haven't seen Alita Battle Angel, but I know that got like decent reviews, but everything else looks like dog shit. And I've seen almost all of it, and I can confirm it's dog shit. Bobby?
Bobby, why'd you rape Peggy?
God damn it, Bobby, why did you rape Lady Bird? I don't know, Dad.
Sorry, Dad.
Why do they call it doggy style? It's so funny to do animated characters talking about rape.
I cut Connie's head off, Dad. Joseph. Okay, good night.
Why did you rape little Connie, Bobby?